Come on! Game stuff. Hey guys. Welcome everybody to Game Stuff Podcast, the weekly video game hangout show where a couple of guys who make video games for a living just get together to talk about games.
Yeah, sometimes it's a couple, sometimes it's more.
Oh, what's more than couple, Sean?
A few.
What? A few?
Yeah. By the way, which Sean are you talking to?
Shit, this is already going off the rails real quick. All right, I'm talking to you, Sean.
Oh, yes.
The normal Sean, but something crazy's happening today.
Yeah, I guess it's on me to introduce a new Sean to the show, Sean Slayback.
Why does everyone who come on here do that trumpet sound?
I don't know.
What's up, Slayback?
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
I'm ready to talk
Welcome.
about game stuff.
Oh,
Whoa.
games and stuff?
Yeah, games
You came
and
prepared
stuff.
with the and stuff part?
Yeah, I'm ready to go on stuff.
Okay.
I have some prepared material on stuff as well as games.
Good.
Awesome.
We
Well,
don't. Just kidding.
Slayback, real quick, before we get into things, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you coming from? Who are you?
Brad,
Where you
I
going?
work with you.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit, you should know this, Brad.
Wait, should I say a little bit about you? Is it my job to
My
introduce you because
understanding-
we're a host of this show?
My understanding is that the host generally tries to pump the guest up a little bit, make them feel comfortable, and set them up for a nice layup, give them an easy assist.
Okay, well, so from what I know of Sean Slayback, he's a real cool cat. He works with me at Respawn. He is what you call a video game designer.
Ooh.
He designs things.
Ooh.
He scripts things. He makes things happen. He makes the magic happen. He makes the game feel and play good.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's what most of us are trying to do that on the design side. Some of us on the code side. I mean, a lot of you guys on the audio side. It's a team effort making something feel good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a designer at Respawn. I work on Titanfall.
Awesome, dude. Well, we're super excited to have you here. It's always fun to hang out with fellow coworkers and developers on this show. And Sean, there's only one way I can really think of that will really just get to know Slayback
just
a little
know
bit
him
better. Just
super
to kind of
deeply.
figure out stuff about him.
Uh-huh.
And,
Well, what's
you know,
that?
I think we're just gonna have to ask Slayback, what have you been playing?
That's a good segue.
What have you been playing?
That was a
dude?
great
That was
segue,
a strong
Brad.
segue.
Perfect.
Thank you.
I've been playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, we've never talked about this game on the
What's
show.
that?
Yeah, you guys don't play PC games, right?
Well, here's the thing, okay? PC gaming, it's just, it's so complicated.
Yeah, I like
and-
the Macintosh.
Okay.
It doesn't get viruses.
That's true.
Okay.
No drivers, no viruses,
I
none of
heard
this
that.
GPU bullshit.
Yeah,
You just plug and play.
you just
Sure.
get your MacBook and then it does all the things that you need it to do.
And it's a book too.
It's also a book.
No, my big thing with PC gaming, to be 100% honest about it, like, I have a PC we're using here to record this podcast. Pretty good PC. We were just talking about this the other day. The casing itself is like 7 years old. I think the motherboard is 7 years old.
Yeah.
But I've replaced like everything else in the computer like 2 or 3 times.
It's a
Did you say
Frankenstein.
casing?
yeah, like
Like a sausage?
Yes, like the sausage casing.
Okay.
Like,
This
the
is part of
thing
the problem. You
Or a
need to know the
bullet.
component names.
The actual terms, like
Just stop at case. That's fine.
I call it the skin. It's the skin on
Sure.
the outside of the
Yep,
computer.
yeah.
And it holds all the insides.
The fried golden outside.
Yeah. So no, like my computer, it's getting up there in age. But my biggest problem with playing PC games is just I don't really like sitting in front of like the computer. So like being up there and playing with keyboard and mouse, like I'm so much more comfortable just laying back on the bed or on a couch and just having a controller in my hand. I know computer people will be like, "Yo, just get a wireless controller and
I'm the
sit
same way.
back."
I'm there.
And
Computer people.
yeah, computer people.
Ew.
And yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of my vibe. Like I'll jump in to PC games that kind of have a lot of like resonance with me, like StarCraft. Like every time there's a new StarCraft expansion, I'm there. I'm back here in the chair, 2 inches away from the fucking monitor,
It's not pretty.
playing PC games again. But other than that, I have such a hard time like really just jumping in. I think the other thing there is I'm just so hooked on like console achievements that like I don't really care about Steam achievements. So I'm just like, well, if I'm gonna play the game, I'm gonna play it on the console.
Yeah, it has to mean something.
Yeah.
I don't care about achievements anymore.
Oh.
I'm done with it.
Okay.
I don't
I
either.
think
Same
Sean
here.
said this on a previous podcast.
Yeah.
One of the 3 I've listened to.
So you. So
You picked a good one.
Tell
Yeah.
us more about.
They've all been
Player-
good, to be honest.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
you're too
very
sweet.
surprised.
Don't be that
Yeah.
honest.
Nice job, guys. let's get into it. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
It is a battle royale style game. Are you guys familiar with the old Japanese movie Battle Royale?
Oh,
Yes, we've seen this movie at least once.
At least once.
Tell the viewers what it is.
It's a movie where a bunch of high
Viewers.
schoolers.
It's
The
old
listeners.
Hunger Games.
Yeah, yeah.
Listeners,
It's
what it
original.
is.
No, it's original Hunger Games, right? It's a bunch of high schoolers on an island.
It's not the original, though.
It's not.
No.
Well, who wrote Hunger Games before the person?
We
who
don't
wrote
have to
Hunger
get into
Games?
it, but I don't think it was the
I'm
original
actually curious also.
version of that.
Okay.
I thought
well,
Battle Royale was the OG.
yeah. I mean,
It's close. It's close.
I think those Japanese storytellers have been kind of riffing on this idea for a while now. But the Battle Royale, as I know it, is a bunch of high schoolers like trapped on an island together, and they have to kill to get off. Like the last person alive. Is it the last person alive? Who
It's a
gets
death
off?
Yeah.
game. It's a game of death.
Yeah.
They take these poor Japanese high schoolers out of their classroom. They say today the lesson is you're going to kill each other.
Yeah.
They are dropped onto an island with a backpack containing basically random items.
Uh-huh.
Some of them get like a gun. Some of them get like.
I
an
forgot about
axe.
that part. That's cool.
And so that's the whole looting part of the game.
Yeah.
So and anyway, they have to kill each other, and that's what the movie's about. And if you don't kill each other, basically they kill you. It's like they have all these contrivances about how it works, but that's
Yeah.
how the movie
Motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
Right. So it's a game where it's 1 versus 100.
And are they all high schoolers?
Yeah, you can look like a high schooler.
Oh, okay.
Even more so now, they're doing new content drop that's inspired by Battle Royale movie. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so they
I
have
saw
a lot
that,
of
actually.
That's a good
outfits that
idea.
look like the old the guys from the old movie, like the
Yeah.
teacher and the
Uniforms.
tracksuit and stuff like that. Yeah. And so it's 1 versus 100, or you can play duos, or you can play as a squad. And basically, you're in an airplane with nothing. You drop onto this huge island.
I find that like the most fascinating part of that game. The fact that like everyone's on the same airplane together for some reason.
It's great. You can
Like,
go.
Why wouldn't you just start killing
Yeah,
each
it's
other
like,
there?
whoa, hold on.
Like
It's
if
part
you're
of the
They
rules.
haven't said go yet.
Yeah, they haven't said go yet.
okay, so you got to follow the rules. There's rules.
Well, isn't there also an initial
In
part
games,
of the match where you shoot
can
each other for a
dictate
bunch?
The rules. It's just like in our game, you can't shoot each other. You can't do stuff in the dropship.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Well, you can't-
just
yeah.
to translate it to a console type situation,
Okay,
so
yes.
you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I understand this now.
I think he gets
It's
it.
like an Overwatch. Have you
not
played
play
that game?
Overwatch.
Oh my
Ooh,
god, that is
yeah.
on console.
Yes.
It is. Well, PUBG is coming to Xbox as well.
That's
I'm
exciting.
I'm waiting for the
But that's not a
console
real
version.
console.
That's exciting. So anyway, yeah. So you start actually on a small sub island where you just run around and you don't kill each other, but you can pick up weapons and you're in God mode basically.
Oh,
So you can
really?
like mess
Yeah.
with stuff and run around and like.
Is
go
this before
prone
the
and-
airplane?
Yeah, before the airplane.
Okay, so it's kind of just like testing out stuff.
It's connecting everybody in basically.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it
so
when
you
games,
do that for like 30 seconds.
I like it when games are smart and forward thinking like that, and they let you do things while they're trying to match make, or
Yeah.
they let you do things while
Yeah.
you're in a lobby.
Totally.
We'll talk about this more in a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so then you're on the plane and you're over this huge map or this huge island, and it has multiple areas on it. But for the most part, it's pretty rural. I would say pretty bucolic, but it does have like
Bucolic.
bucolic. Yeah,
Dig into that term for me real quick.
it's what I associate with your home state.
Okay, Pennsylvania.
That's
is
right.
Very
Yeah,
bucolic.
very rural. Lots of space between the houses. You know, lots
Yeah.
of
Lots of space.
space.
yeah,
Too
lots
much
of space. Lots of nature.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So it's like that, but kind of more open. It actually feels kind of more like an Eastern European vibe. It feels like this island has been destroyed somehow, or the houses are only put there for this competition. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the art style's cool. It's very like raw and straight up.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Just simple.
Arma or like H1Z1.
Well, they're not
Just
trying to
very
tell a story
functional,
with the environment,
you know.
right? Like,
Well, I don't know. I bet you they would say they are,
Oh,
because
really?
I feel like they're trying to put something on it. I mean, I don't know what happened here, but you go in and it has like one of those like 50,000 people used to live here sort of
even if
vibes.
it did have like, even if it did have the story, you're like you're too worried about what's going on around you to even give
Yeah.
a fuck.
Where
It's
It's
so
like,
intense.
It's like, oh fuck, was this door
Yeah.
already open before I got here? Holy shit, was that the people who lived on this island before me? No, that was just a guy who was just here. Fuck.
I haven't even gotten into the gameplay. Oh, basic gameplay is it's a third-person shooter. It's an action game. You can punch guys, but the main gameplay is you're shooting guys. And you can
Would
also
you
go
say
into first
shooting
person.
guys is
It's third
better
person
than-
or first person. And when you're shooting guys, a lot of times you do automatically go into first person, like to use your reflex scope or whatever.
Oh,
Wait,
interesting.
is first person fully integrated? I thought that was something they're like
It's
just
kinda
adding
janky
now,
still.
or they're trying to get it better then.
Well, they're gonna have first person servers apparently coming
Okay, where you
out,
have to be playing in first person.
which I'm excited about, but only if the first person mode gets better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because It'll still be cool because tactically it's like basically the only choice is to be third person because you can look around corners.
Yeah, it's way easier.
And the game also has, so a lot of the game is you're kind of sprinting across like giant fields between like little clusters of houses, or between larger towns, you know, and you're worried about 360 degrees around you. There could be anybody because everyone's dropping out of the plane.
Yeah.
And so advanced strat is you're trying to watch as you jump out of the plane and just see basically where other people are going. And if you go into a house and you know there's a guy in the house next to you, you're like, I got to gear up. Okay, so you start with nothing. You go in these houses and there's like random loot. There's like, and it's just sitting on the ground. It's like a pistol and ammo, or like a motorcycle helmet, or body armor, or a backpack. And so like you basically have this like progression of looting where you can get lucky and get some stuff right away that's real good, like get a backpack and you don't have to care about your inventory as much.
Right.
But the feeling of gearing up and like when you kill somebody else, like, ooh, what do they have? You know, like, because it's like first aid and bandages and, you know, level 2 helmet and level 3 helmet. And so eventually you're like all kitted out.
Is there any ability to, like, as you're dying, just light up all your shit that you have so someone can't get it before you die?
I don't think so. No, they get everything.
I feel like that would just be...
Just drop a grenade.
Yeah.
That would be
just
cool.
like...
Well, maybe you could drop it somewhere, but if they're in the area, they'd probably know where all, like, they'd probably see where you went.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then how they focus the gameplay is you're on this huge like open world feeling map, and then they have these circles that basically constrict the gameplay like every a few minutes. The circle will contract, and then if you're not in the like main white circle on the map, then there's a larger blue circle that starts contracting over like a minute. And that blue circle is when you're out of that, you start taking damage.
Okay.
So basically, you want to get inside the white circle, and stay in the white circle, and then move to where it goes to or where it contracts to. And so by the end of the match, if you're like in the top 10, and I've never won, which in this game is called,
really?
Which in this game is called getting a
Turkey
chicken dinner,
chicken
dinner,
dinner.
winner chicken dinner. But I have gotten top 10 a few times. Like I don't know, I'm not very good. Like, you know, my best competitive shooter days are behind me.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
It's true, man. Statistically,
science is moving really quickly these days.
That would be awesome. I'll get bionic hand-eye coordination. So yeah, the circle becomes super small. So you're on this like random hilltop with like 2 bushes and a tree, and people are like,
yeah.
That's
what's. I think like that's one of like. It's super cheesy when you see it in game and you're watching it and you're like, whoa, a big electrical circle is just fucking zooming in. Like, this doesn't make any sense. But the gameplay mechanic part of it is really fascinating because, like, that's the part that's so exciting. Is like, that game is a game of, like, camping and then going and then camping and then going. It's like, you're waiting for, you're like, I've watched people play the game and it's like they're just waiting behind a tree and then okay, circle's moving, run, and then like as you run, you know other people are having to run, so you're like looking and you're like, you know, they're gonna have to come out of that building that they're in.
Yes.
And then like that's the part that makes it so much fun. I feel like just like kind of just that anticipation factor there.
Yeah, totally.
And you're constantly forcing people into this final confrontation, which
it's great. The way it ratchets up the intensity as the match goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like other games that do that, like, right? Like League of Legends does that really well. You know, there's a lot of other games that have like in-match meta.
Yeah.
You know, people are leveling up and getting better as it goes on. So that just makes it more fun and more intense. You know, it's real cool. And everybody is geared up at the end. So they're not dropping with one headshot maybe. Like maybe you're popping these guys for a while and he's like 30 meters away. And do you have a better scope than him? And so there is a strategy layer to it, which I think is why it's really caught on. It's like it has a very like primal feel to the main conflict, which is like just survive.
Yeah. Speaking of catching on, like I saw, I think this week that it sold another 1 million copies. Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah. Like so.
Wait, so how many is it at
since
now?
that first million? I think it's at like over 2 million.
I think I heard on another podcast earlier this week it was 4. It was at 4 million.
Damn,
yeah,
that's big.
Jesus. Like it's crazy how much this is blown up, and that's a PC game. Like
yeah.
People are always saying PC gaming's dead. Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody's saying that.
I think they're done saying that. Yeah, that was like back in the PS2 era. Anyway, so I've seen some people hiding in less than hidden places in that game. So how many bushes are actually people?
I think it depends on whether you get the ghillie suit from the airdrop crate or not.
Oh, so is there a suit that just makes you look like a bush?
Well, it's a ghillie suit.
Well, and people hide in bushes too. Like there would be
yeah.
one bush in the middle of the map,
Yeah.
and there's just a dude in
Do
it.
they still
It
have
depends
the
on
problem
your graphical
where,
settings,
yeah, I was gonna
like
say,
how
do the
visible
graphical
you are.
settings still affect that? Like, is it still best to play that game on the lowest settings?
I think if you want to be 100% most competitive, you would either do that all the time, or you would internalize what the difference is.
How do you as a designer feel about that? I feel like that seems like that's fundamentally broken, right? Like,
I mean, I think it
the
sucks.
fact that you can actually change your chances of survival just by lowering your graphic settings, like that.
Well, if crouching in the bush is supposed to be a legit tactic, then they basically need to make it work the
Either
same
way.
on all the graphical levels. And
Yeah.
if they change the MIPS or they change the like level of detail between the graphical levels, then it's on them to like make sure it still does the same thing. You know, gameplay wise.
Yeah.
I know there's some games that do like a cheat where you're in a bush zone and then they sort of like make you less visible to other players. Like they cheat it with, you know, they ghost you a little bit or something
really?
like that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just remember hearing that sometime, but I can't cite what game it would be. Great content. Moving on.
Have you been playing anything else?
Yes, I've been getting into Heroes of the Storm.
Okay.
What?
It's
Heroes
totally
of
random.
the Storm.
Heroes of the Storm.
Are people playing that game still?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
They had a
pretty-
huge update recently.
I am out of this
It's
PC
great.
gaming loop.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I tried to play League of Legends like I don't know 5
know.
or 6 years ago when someone at work tried to kind of introduce
Get,
us
like,
to
a
it.
whole crew going?
Yeah, all the designers downloaded it and checked it out, and like I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
I didn't get it at all, and I feel really ignorant, you know, in hindsight. But I just didn't get it. And MOBAs
It's a
have been
hard game to get, honestly. I think like
It was
jumping
so
into it, if
confusing.
you've never played anything like it before, like
Yeah.
it's very, very like hard barrier to break through.
Unlike most other games, it takes probably tens of hours until you feel comfortable, until you feel like you have your sea legs.
Totally. Yeah, there's a lot of mechanics, and there's a crazy amount of depth in that. And I mean, the esports scene for it is insane, you know. So
Yeah. But you're into Heroes of the Storm right now.
yeah, so I wanted to try a MOBA again because
Okay.
like over the past however many years since I tried it,
It's gotten
MOBAs
huge.
have been a part of the conversation continually.
Yeah.
And so it just like by osmosis, I know that there's 3 lanes, and I know that you kill the
Yeah.
Nexus, and I know the very basics of how these games work now. So jumping into it was a smoother experience, and I thought Heroes of the Storm had good onboarding too. I mean, they have to, right? They can't lose you. It's free.
Right.
Like you have to.
We got to get him so far.
Yeah, exactly. So it's great. It's really fun. It's really accessible. It's not as complicated as any of the other MOBAs that I've seen. And it's got the same old MOBA juice of like, it's top down. You can see all the action. You understand what's happening, you know, and it's more like watching a basketball game, I would say, than,
Yeah.
you know, watching a Battleground stream or something like that. And it's cool. I have a new appreciation now that my son is like 6.5. And for games that are watchable, because
Okay.
he's still
yeah.
I don't know if he's ever going to be a big gamer. He's still not like I want to
He's
grab
more
the
of like a
controller
sports baller
and do it on
guy
my
and
own.
stuff. Like,
A jock.
yeah,
I think he's more of like
He's
I don't
out there
know.
bench pressing all the time.
Beating
doesn't
up
care
the
about
gamers.
video games.
He's awesome. I mean, I think he might be more likely to make games than be a hardcore gamer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's more of a creative type like that, but he loves watching me play games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Here's the Storm is so watchable, and it's so fun, and the characters, like when you're in the character select menu, it's like a fighting game, you know, it's like you have all these
Yeah.
portraits and you're like, oh my gosh, like I remember like being smaller and I got Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo,
Oh, yeah,
and
dude.
you were like, oh my god, who's this guy? This guy's got elephants, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so he's doing that with Heroes of the Storm. He's like, oh my god, this guy's made out of lava. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, this was the end boss in this old game. He's like,
Yeah.
whoa, you
Was
know.
that- are you talking
they
about
have
Diablo?
they have Ragnaros.
Oh,
is a really
Ragnaros.
fun character to play.
Yeah, I feel like that's immediately like more appealing to me. Is that it's all Blizzard characters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all these characters that I grew up playing in different video games. So that immediately hooks me more than League of Legends or
New IP.
Dota would.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they really sell it with the UI too, because they've got their models everywhere.
Yeah.
Like every screen you go to, you have models that are kind of animating, and like you can change their skin color and stuff like that. And
It's like
just,
an action figure
Yeah, it's
collection.
action figures. It's kind of like a physical thing. It's really cool.
He and I used to be into Skylanders, you know,
nice.
and that's like it has that sort of Toys to Life sort of feel of you see the guy in front of you and he's doing his emotes
Yeah.
and he does his voice lines and he's got different skins and like they put so much personality into it, even though, you know, it's more like superficial, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's cool that it does the Overwatch thing where the abilities are really well communicated to the player. The upgrades over the course of the match are like a lot more simple, I would say, than at least in the League of Legends I played.
Yeah.
And they don't have items or anything like that.
Yeah.
And on a lot of maps, they have
I
very
bet that makes it a lot
cool,
simpler.
unique mechanics. So you're not just trying to kill the Nexus. You're trying to like...
So you're saying they got more than one map?
Dude, they have many maps, and the maps are
Many
cool. They're all
maps.
themed, right? Because Blizzard has many worlds, so they're all themed after the different... There's like a Colonial Marines theme map. There's a Zerg theme map. There's a there's a bunch of Warcraft theme maps.
I might be firing up my PC later.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's free.
Yeah.
Just like you're just like speaking to me right now. Like I'm getting all excited just hearing Colonial Marines and like Zergs, and I'm just like, what? Okay,
No,
Zerg?
Zerg?
yeah, no, the truth is that I was listening to John Gabris's podcast, and
Oh,
he
really?
did, High and Mighty, and he did an episode where he and his comedian buddies talked about how they play Heroes of the Storm, and I was like, I gotta try this game.
Yeah.
It seems like a perfect MOBA Junior. I gotta get into it. I gotta understand a little more about it. And
Yeah.
so I've been into it. It's fun for Roscoe to watch, my son. So that's the other game I've been playing. It's cool.
Dude, that's awesome.
Very
I've stayed so far away from MOBAs because like MOBAs to me are still almost like when I was in high school and I saw kids playing Magic the Gathering. You know, and I was like, ugh, what the fuck, Magic the Gathering? Ugh. And
not a real
game.
game.
Like, ugh, what a nerd, you know? And I stayed away from that for as long as I could, and then my best friend started playing it. And I was like, what the fuck, you're playing Magic the Gathering? And he's like, yeah, it's really awesome, you should try it. And I'm like, no, I'm never going to try it. Like 2 hours later, I'm like, this game's fucking awesome. You know?
Yeah. Now who's the nerd?
So it's like, and then, so it's so hard. It's so hard to like let go of that stigma of like, oh, he's fucking MOBA nerds. Like I always got to have like this one level where like I'm a better gamer than that. Like I'm less
Yeah,
of a nerdy gamer
yeah.
than they are.
Well,
you know?
just
But
use
it's
Candy
not true.
Crush. Use Candy Crush for that.
Yeah, guess what? You're
Okay,
not.
so Candy Crush.
You're not
is my
cooler
level.
than esports celebrities in Korea. You're just not.
Oh, you definitely aren't. They get all the girls.
Dude.
Those
It's
guys are just
insane.
they're just objectively cool.
They are. Man. Yeah. So Sean, what have you been playing, dude?
Whew, I think you know what I've been playing.
Tell me.
A little game called Splatoon 2.
What?
Yeah. So I finally downloaded it. You know all of this. And we played a little bit.
Yes.
A tiny bit.
Yeah, we
and
didn't
then
get to play as much as we should have yet.
Then I went off on my own and just did a little grinding. Ground some noobs into dust.
Yeah, I heard Maggie kicked your ass last night.
What?
Oh my god, Brad!
What did she tell you?
Brad, tell me your fantasy of playing Splatoon 2 with your girlfriend because you bought her another Switch is working. Please tell me this.
It is. It's actually,
I need an update on this ridiculous
Well, it's funny.
scheme.
It's funny because she actually didn't at first. Like at first she was like, I
like for
don't
the first 2 or
wanna.
3 days, it was just like, nope. And I was like, fuck, Sean's totally right. This is not working. This is not
I didn't
working.
say it wasn't
And then
working.
you did say, you were like, she's never going to play it.
Oh, I did say that, and you agreed. You agreed.
Yeah. And then out of nowhere, I don't know, like I came home and like she was just already playing it. And I was like, what's this?
She was splatting?
I won't say anything.
She was splatting?
Yeah, she was splatting. And then like
Don't
the
disturb
past
her.
the past couple nights, every night before she goes to sleep, she splats for like 30, 45 minutes. And then like
That's great.
That's
she
good.
keeps saying like, I can't do this right before I go to sleep because she doesn't stop.
That's
like she'll
huge.
just keep playing. She'll keep playing till like past 1 a.m. and then she needs to wake up at like 7 or something like that. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like you need to go to bed. But I don't say it. I don't say it out loud. I just think it in my head like, you know what? She's
her
learning.
go.
Like
Let
this
her
is
destroy her
you
life.
yeah. Every gamer knows you go through this phase where you just game irresponsibly for a while, you know? Until you figure out that you can't
Is
do
that
it
a
anymore.
phase?
Yeah. Till you get
I
sick.
feel like I lapse into like it's not real like drug use or anything, but it feels like sometimes you just go on a bender and you're like
Yeah.
you're like, oh my god, what did I do to myself? I can't do that anymore. I'm
50 hours in one day.
an old man now.
Yeah. No, but it's actually like been legit working. She's level 8 in Splatoon, which I think is higher than Sean.
Well, yeah. I mean, she got it way before me.
A couple days, like 3 days before.
Yeah, I got it yesterday.
She's playing
All
every
right,
night
no
before
excuses.
bed, bro.
You're right. You're right.
Get good.
Yeah, no excuses. Come on. No, it's been going great. So the problem is, even though we both have Switches and we both have Splatoon and we're playing at the same time,
She doesn't wanna
trying
play
to
with
get in. That's not true, Sean.
She told me.
No, that's never been true. They don't make it very fucking easy to play together. It's like it's such a barrier
it's-
to entry to
they-
get.
they made
to play
zero
with
effort.
A friend.
Yeah, there's no matchmaking with friends.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen anything about like the Splatoon's networking stuff or anything, but
Everything I hear about it sounds insane.
it's ridiculous. Like, especially coming.
The
from
game
us,
itself is great.
All three of us here, online multiplayer, huge part of our games. only part of one of your games.
You could say that. You can do a custom game.
Yeah. So like.
I was wondering, do you guys have AI in League?
They do. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. You can
There
play
are
against
bot
bots.
games.
Cool.
So with Splatoon 2, to play with a friend, first of all, you have to trade friend codes.
Obviously.
Fucking nightmare.
Oh,
Nintendo.
what a nightmare.
Nintendo.
Oh, Nintendo.
Almost making me open up the grievance back
Dude,
here.
open it up, because this is worth it. And I know Slayback has his own grievances, so let's just go right into it.
We could also do multiple openings and closings.
Yeah, we're going to open
That's
and
true, we
close.
could.
I'm going to open briefly.
It's hard to close it,
All right,
though.
we're opening up the grievance bag. All right. Nintendo, friend codes. Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Delete friend codes. Erase it from your history. They're fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It's this 12-digit code, which actually has 2 letters before it, and then they have to specify when they're like, input your friend code, ignore the letters. Why do you put the letters in if I have to ignore them to put in someone's
That is a
fucking
little
friend
odd.
code?
That's a little
It makes
odd.
no
I didn't even
sense.
know that.
Okay, so they have friend codes, right?
So
But
you're
guess
putting
what?
in a gift card sized
Yes.
code
Yes.
to play with your friend.
To be a friend.
All right.
Now,
is this every game has a different code?
No. You have your specific friend code.
Yeah, you have
I
an
tweeted
account
my
level
friend
code.
code out.
Okay.
I tweeted my friend code out earlier this week. I got like 10 friend requests from it. Pretty cool. That part was okay. I was like, I'm not giving out any private information. That's kind of interesting. That should be an option. That shouldn't be the way. The other thing they have is when you have a Switch, they say find friends nearby. And you're like, well, fuck, that's awesome. I have
that
friends
sounds like
nearby.
it
This
should be
sounds
like
easy
that.
and intuitive. Let's do this. So you hit find friends nearby, and then it like goes into this thing, and then it's like pick a color, and you're like, what? And it gives you 4 symbols and 4 colors on the screen, and you're like, okay, I picked green. And then like meanwhile your friends like nearby, they have to also go to find friends nearby
And
activate
choose
the
green,
friends nearby,
the green diamond.
choose the same color that you chose and the same symbol, and then once that happens, it will say, here's the friend. You hit send friend request. It says failed. It didn't work. So you both go out and you're like, well, I guess that didn't work. And then it turns out one of you will get a friend request. Don't know who it is necessarily,
Nope.
but one of them will get a friend request, and then you hit accept, and then you're friends.
Well, you're friends, but the other person doesn't appear online, even though they are online. And then 10 minutes later, they suddenly are online. It's all just like completely fucked.
So Slayback, now you're friends, right? But when you want to fucking play the game together, Splatoon 2, you have to join a match. So you hit regular match, and you just get into a lobby with random people, and then you have to get your friend to, as fast as possible, hit join friends, find you in the list of friends, hit OK, jump in, hit OK again, and hope that you get into the lobby before it fills with random players. There's no way
But
to
it
just
almost never does.
queue your friends up and be like, hey, we want to play together, then go into a lobby.
That's
You have to
brutal.
get into a lobby first. So 9 times out of 10, you get put into a match, and your friend just has to wait until you're done.
That's insane.
Yep.
And then, get this. Let's say you played that match and you're like, fuck, this gun I just equipped sucks. I need to change it.
Now we're
You need
specifically
to-
talking about Splatoon.
Yeah. I'm airing
You're
the
okay.
whole
okay.
network.
This is where you're saying
Splatoon
it is hard to get out of
grievances.
it. Yeah.
It just goes down a path.
Okay, but we're going to get out of it next.
Bad
Right after
path.
this. You have to back out of the game and the lobby and matchmaking to change your equipment. So you change your gun. Now you have to start that process over again.
Wow.
Closing the bag.
Yeah, so Splatoon 2 is a great game.
Oh, dude.
Super fun.
So much fun. I was telling Sean this week, Turf War might be my...
This was Sean's turn.
What?
Well, I mean, okay. I'm just jumping in, and then I'm going to give it back to Sean.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You
So,
guys are ganging up
Sean
on me
has
over
said
here.
like
Brad
literally,
likes to-
he
Brad
said like
likes to
30
steamroll.
words this whole podcast.
Brad likes to steamroll. He just keeps going. He asks you a question, and then he answers it. And acts as if you answered it, and then segues off of that into another thing.
If I'm not mistaken, this guy's picture is next to the podcast name. And he hasn't said anything.
Wait,
like
we
Penn
opened
and
up the
Teller.
grievance bag, okay?
I know, it consumes everything.
Oh, my God. Okay, Sean, you go.
All right, well, I don't have too much to say about Splatoon because I only played like 10
Damn you.
matches probably. But I agree with a lot of what you were saying. It's got a really janky matchmaking system, but the rest of the game is super polished and super solid, and that's why it's disappointing to me, the matchmaking stuff, because I know they could do it if they put their minds to it, or if they just hired people who have done this before ever in online video games.
Yeah.
They could make something that works and that makes sense, and that isn't this like Dark Souls experience where you have to put a stamp on the ground and wait for your friend to be on the right server and then fucking
Yeah, it
jump
does
into
feel
your
like
game.
it's just an afterthought.
It's weird because Nintendo is all about family and like kids connecting and stuff like that, and they make it so hard for that to happen.
Yeah, and there's no split screen.
Yeah, and there's so much friction. So I don't get that part, but the game is amazing, and a lot like PUBG, it just has this really interesting premise and this really unique gameplay hook where you're trying to cover the map in paint. And so there's this give and take where every time you die, you're losing ground, and you have to get back up to like 50% or above. And so it's a shooter, and at the same time, you've got this other huge objective that causes a lot of tension. So I love it, and I think part of the reason that it's so easy to dive into is that the matches are like 3 or 4 minutes long.
They're 3 minutes long.
I love that. That's
and
awesome.
That's perfect.
So quick.
And you can run through 10 of them and play for 30 minutes, or you can just do one and close it, and you're done.
I think that really works with the Switch as a portable.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's like you just fire it up, and it's like you just play around real quick, and then you're done. Just set it down.
And I haven't done the single player yet, but can you do it offline?
Yeah, it's all offline.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to be online.
Awesome.
For any of the
Yeah,
single
I look
stuff.
forward to seeing that and just seeing like what they've done with it and what kind of story they've implemented, and if they actually care about that at all.
To jump in real quick, if I may, Slayback.
Oh, you don't have to ask my permission.
Okay.
You have the other
No.
picture.
To jump
Never.
in real quick, with
Well,
the
how about
single
this?
player.
How about this? What have you been playing?
Oh, flipped it on him. You know he had to do it.
What have I been playing?
That's right.
Okay. I've been playing Splatoon 2.
Okay.
Let me tell you about this game. There's this game where you're a kid, and then you're a squid, and then you're a kid, then you're a squid, and you shoot ink, and then you win. And that's the game.
You don't win. I've seen you play.
Okay, so with the Splatoon 2 single player, specifically, it's like a bunch of... It really, to me, feels like almost like a 3D Mario game in a way. It's a bunch of like 3D platforming levels where it's like literally pieces are just floating in the air, and there's just like you're just doing like almost each level has like a cool unique mechanic, which I've heard people say that they were disappointed none of that stuff's in the multiplayer, and it is kind of true that when I play it, where I'm like there's like cool things that you do in the single player that are totally never seen again outside of that, which I feel like could add cool mechanics to some of their multiplayer maps and stuff like that. But yeah, it's almost just like a bunch of platforming and combat challenges that are really smartly woven together, and they keep unlocking and giving you new weapons as you go along in the single player, which I heard in the first Splatoon, you only had one gun the entire time, which I think is why they kind of thought it was an afterthought.
They had single player?
Yeah, they did, but it was like
I didn't even know
apparently
they had
like
it.
it was apparently like not very good, and like they made a bunch of improvements this time around.
Yeah.
And I've only fought one boss, but the boss was awesome. It was so cool. Like all of the Nintendo quirkiness and charm is so there, and it's like that's the part to me that is the most impressive with Splatoon 2 is like I've immediately fallen in love with this stupid squid universe. Like I bought an amiibo. This like was it last week? Did I talk about it last week? I can't remember.
I think it was
you,
since then.
Like posted it on Twitter.
Yeah,
like,
I did. Okay, so
when have you not talked about this amiibo?
I'm sleeping with the amiibo. Actually, it's like in my bed now.
Okay.
It's not that strange.
Squid or kid?
It's pretty... Oh god, yeah. Either way, not a good story.
So
what benefits does the amiibo confer in the game? First of all.
So okay, what benefits the amiibo confers? Is that what,
yeah?
Is that the terminology you use?
What do you get when
the
you
amiibo,
scan it with your Switch?
When you scan it in,
Zelda, right? You get like a thing.
You get like chests
like a
and
wolf.
stuff. Okay, when you scan the amiibo, the one that I got, you go up to the little amiibo box, and it's cool. You scan it, and then you see it in the little amiibo box in the game. You're like, whoa, there it is.
Is that
so
cool?
I totally get
think
like
that's
I wanted
kinda
to
cool.
jump
That's
in
like
on
Toys
the
to Life cool.
I wanted to
Alright,
jump into
okay.
that Skylanders thing that you said because I have never experienced the Toys to Life feeling before.
Just wait a little
But-
longer. It's still dying off.
Yeah, I know.
It's on his last
almost dead.
legs.
Unfortunately, I think
I'd
those
never,
games are cool.
but I had never tried Skylanders. I'd never done that before, and that did stupidly feel cool. To
Yeah.
touch something to your Switch, and you're like, oh, there it is in the game now, and that's
There
so
it
cool.
is.
Cool. It's so fun.
So
Yeah.
basically, that character then gets transferred into the game, and you get, from what I understand, when you reach certain levels in the multiplayer progression, you get pieces of gear from the amiibo, and I don't think, maybe I wasn't the right level at the time to get any gear from it, so I didn't get specific gear, but that should happen eventually. Like at certain
Cool.
levels, you'll get different levels of gear, and then the amiibo just comes into the game and you can take pictures with it.
What? That's it? That's all you do with it?
Like your squid guys, like taking a selfie with a
Yeah.
little amiibo.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I guess
It's pretty fun. But there should be stuff that you get from it. The thing is, there's some stuff with Splatoon that's actually like it's interesting because you look at it and it looks like this game that it's like, oh, that looks super easily accessible. Looks like it's for kids, but there's a lot of depth and a lot of strange mechanics and stuff in Splatoon that are never really explained very well. And like especially in the hub world, like there's this guy that you can go to trade tickets in to get experience boosts or money boosts, and they never tell you where to get the tickets or like what or like how the tickets work. They never tell you that. Like with this gear and the amiibo thing, like I feel like I would think like when I scan the amiibo, it should tell me right away, like, hey, you can't get this gear right now, but if you scan it at level 10, you'll get it. But none of that's explained. There's like weird things like that where I'm just like.
Sean said something earlier about how Nintendo's matchmaking is like playing Dark Souls.
Yeah.
And like this is a very Dark Souls kind of experience as well.
It does seem like that.
That's the secret connection.
Yeah.
Nintendo and From Software.
Yeah, and the other thing they do is like they have this mode called Salmon Run, which is this new Horde mode, which is really fun and it's really awesome. Like, this Horde mode has like 10 different like really cool unique bosses that all require like really cool amounts of teamwork and stuff to take down. And like the Salmon Run mode is only open certain days of the week.
What?
They turn it off.
They turn it off. So like if you go there certain days, it'll just be gone.
Why?
Exactly. No one knows why. Like
why
Nintendo.
Is it temporary?
It's not temporary. It's
a strategy. It's an
Nintendo,
intentional thing for some reason.
I don't know if they wanted to if they want to make sure their other modes aren't losing players on certain days or what, but it seems so frustrating because the mode has been super popular. People are really latching onto it. And one thing Nintendo did change was last week the hour periods were 12-hour periods to play the game. And now this week they're 24. So I think they have at least updated it to be it's a whole day. Yeah. But last week I couldn't play at all because the hours were like 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it was like, what?
Just wake up at 5 a.m. if you really care.
if I really cared, I guess I would do that. But yeah, so Splatoon, I mean, that sounds negative, but
I heard Salmon Run is fun, though. What is that? How does that work?
So Salmon Run...
Because we also released Horde mode this week, which is the other thing I was playing this week. Was
Frontier Defense.
Frontier Defense, yeah.
So,
Titanfall 2.
So Salmon...
Available in stores now.
Actually,
Still in stores.
Well, it was free this past weekend.
Good.
What? Where?
Yeah, it's free right now, isn't it?
Well... This doesn't come
when
out
this
now.
comes out, it won't be free anymore.
It won't be free anymore, yeah.
Where is it free?
All places.
Yeah, all platforms.
PC, consoles.
Titanfall 2 is free.
For this weekend, yeah.
You can
play, like a free weekend.
You can play the training level, you can play one of the campaign
levels, and all multiplayer.
I thought you meant just suddenly it was like you could walk into Target and pick it up and just walk out.
No,
well, I mean, you could do that, but it would be called stealing, Sean.
Shoplifting.
Thievery.
5-finger discount, boys.
So Salmon Run is 4 players, and you're on a very small map, surrounded by water.
All the maps are small.
Yeah, but these are even smaller than
really.
Yeah, because
there's no water on the other maps.
Well, there is water.
Good point.
There is water on some of the other maps. So you're on this map, and it's all randomly generated. So every wave is totally random and unique. So you have 3 waves that you have to survive, and there's 2 meanings to survive. One is you can't have everyone die, and the other thing is when boss characters die, what bosses will show up randomly, and it'll just be random whichever boss they decide to throw at you at this time. When you kill a boss, it'll drop 3 golden salmon eggs, and so you got to collect those eggs and bring them back to a basket that's also randomly placed somewhere in the map. So the whole point of this is to every wave you have to collect so many eggs to pass that wave and have everyone survive. So basically you're collecting these eggs as currency. So it's if for the first wave you might need to collect 3 eggs. And so all you need to do is kill one boss. Cool, collect the eggs, bring them back, you got it, and then just survive that round. Now the next wave, now you need to collect 7 eggs. And so they kind of ramp it up the 3 waves. And as you progress in there's also a ranking and progression to the Salmon Run mode. So you start out as a part-timer and then you become an apprentice and stuff like that. So they've
So it's mode-specific meta.
It's mode-specific meta, and it's all based around this, you're kind of working for this really shady dude, and this is his, this is just some shady business he runs. And, really, if you think about it, it's fucked up, because you're killing these salmon and stealing their eggs.
Yeah.
And bringing them, just stealing them for some reason. I'm
What's
not
wrong
sure
with
why.
that?
It's a Nintendo game,
they're babies.
Dude.
And in the eggs, you see,
you
know how, in Finding Nemo, you saw, the little baby eggs, and you saw, the little baby inside of it? You see that. So it's you're just stealing these people's babies the whole time. It's kind of dark if you think about it. But
I guess you are a squid, so salmon to you should be friends.
It's kind of the opposite coin of like Yoshi's Island, where you're saving the baby. You know,
dude, it's totally the exact opposite of that. That must have been Nintendo's design philosophy. Let's think of the opposite of Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, perfect.
We got it. That, and I've also been going hard, real hard, at Persona 5.
Ooh, you'll never see it coming. Too fast for eyes. We should have had the lyrics.
I won the fight. That's what's going on. So Persona 5, I made this promise that I was going to finish this game. I was just going to go at it full time, and that's what I've been doing. So I'm on like the 5th or 6th palace now or something like that. 100 hours in.
Oh my god, dude. This
You're
game
actually
is so long. I have also played Persona 5 recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 100 hours?
80 hours.
Ooh.
Dude, so you're like almost as far as I am, or maybe even further, because I don't know. Like, I feel like some people beat this game way faster than I did.
I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to go back to this game. This game broke me. It ground me down. It is it's so grindy, but I really like it.
Yeah.
I still like have such a fondness for it, but I just can't play it anymore right now.
That's how I was. When I went 80 hours in, I was like, I'm taking a break. And I took a break, and then for 2 months as I was off the game, I kept thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, it kept coming back to me. I was like, man, that was just like...
You just wake up in the middle of the night, it's like... You're like, oh my god. It gets in you. It's so stylish. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's
I
such a
think
cool
the
game.
style is what makes it okay. Like you said it's really grindy, and it is, but it's kind of obscured by just how awesome everything is. Every fight just feels like a special occasion, and then after 100,000 of them, you realize, oh wait, no, it's just I'm fighting Kelpie again.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't want to get too far into it because we've talked about Persona like a billion times, but I'm playing it and game's still good.
You gotta beat it.
It's good, but like you get 80 hours in, it's like there's a lot of grievances. All right, okay. You said this the other week, but oh my god, one battle song for a 100-hour RPG? Are you kidding me? For a game? This game, do they have an in-house composer on this team?
They have to.
Guys.
Well, I don't know about in-house, but
his name is like up front on the credits, like top 3 name on this game. Like, it's super important, obviously, to them, the composer and the compositions. So why the hell is there not a custom battle theme for every palace?
Dude, exactly. How hard would that be?
Even if it's a variation of the cool ass theme, because the song is great. Dude,
the song
it's
is
hot
all the
fire.
music is just
it is
amazing.
hot fire.
It is. I love it. But dude, you're so right. I mean, all it would take is every palace is so drastically themed differently. Take that same fucking song, change the instruments. Okay, now I'm in this palace that's styled like this. Let's change the instruments to be. I don't want to say any of the
all
palaces because I don't want to ruin it. I don't want.
Yeah, there's one palace like you get in, it's like a techno. It's like you know, and you're like, why is the battle theme not like sort of like that?
Why isn't the battle? Yeah, why doesn't it match it?
It just started driving me crazy, even though I really like that song.
Yeah.
I just.
Oh, then there's that crazy sex palace. Remember that one?
Like
the first
the first
and
one.
then the music could be like sex music, you know.
Nice.
Yeah. I know what you're talking
No,
about.
and the palace design. I mean, I don't think I have the grievance bag open too much longer, but I want to talk about the combat. So I was playing this game on easy. I haven't played a JRPG in a while, and I didn't want to struggle through it. I was like, this game is style is substance. I want to see the style. I want to see the story. And so I was just playing on easy, and it was fine. Like, some of the combat was actually still kind of challenging. Like, it's a very, like, you got to min-max your dudes.
Well, and once you get so far into the game, like I keep telling Sean because he doesn't understand, he's like, the game's so easy. Like, they really put some smart combinations of enemies against
my beef is that it was not a smart thing that happened to me. There's an enemy that has an attack that despairs like everybody all at once, and if you don't have, you just can get despaired out. Despair just means that, for anybody who hasn't played this game, it just means that you have these like mana or action points or whatever to like do your spells. SP, thank you. And despair takes your SP away, and once all of your SP goes away, it makes you die.
No, it's not even SP. I think it's 3 turns. I think you have 3 turns and then you die. I think you are either in the palace that I'm in now, or like are right around it, because you're right. There's a guy, he does that.
So
he also has a move that just instantly kills one of your characters. It's the death. It's the death
curse.
move.
The curse
But
move.
it's low probability.
No,
right?
it's every time he uses it, someone dies.
There's
pretty
one
much.
that's low
And
if he
probability, but
uses
then
it
the
against-
upgrade on that is medium probability.
Yeah, and the problem is
the flip side is you never want to use it because you don't know what the dice roll is.
Yeah. So they'll use it against you, and the problem with that is, in Persona 5, you automatically get game over if your character dies. Not if everyone dies, if your character dies.
Which
so
is
you
a
don't
little
even get
weird.
a chance to bring them back. And what sucks about that is it's an instant death move. You can't predict against it. You have no idea when or if it's going to happen.
And it
they'll
can
just
happen
use
to
it.
Joker, and
Yeah.
then it's game over.
Yeah,
you can't even
exactly.
res the guy.
You can't.
even-
They don't even give you a chance.
That's like basic Final Fantasy shit, right? Like everyone has to go down for you to lose.
Yes.
If the main character, who they nickname is Joker, if he goes down, the game is over. Are you kidding me?
And he's no
You're right.
better.
And I actually lost about an hour worth of work just this week because of that. We were watching some show.
Work.
And
An hour worth of work. That's what happens in this game.
He said he's going at it full time.
Punching the clock, Joker.
It's true. Yeah. Dude, I totally agree. That is so frustrating.
So it just started. I was like, I'm playing on easy, man. What are you doing? Like, you want people to see this cool story, these cool interactions. Like, half the game is
That skill
talking
shouldn't
to
even be
your
allowed
Japanese
in
high school
easy.
buddies and going around Japan and seeing cool parts of the city.
Finding which girl's going to be your girlfriend.
Going in sex palaces.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think my charm is high enough yet to get with a doctor, but
The doctor.
That's the
You're going
strat.
after
Oh, you
Doc.
like the doctor? You're going for
for
the doctor?
sure, she's awesome.
Dude,
She's
she
so
is
cool. I
cool.
love her backstory. Yeah,
Yeah. I can't decide between like An or Makoto. I really dig both.
Makoto's
of them.
cool.
Yeah, she's super cool.
Yeah.
She's kind of got that whole like she's got her life together, you know.
Right. So we closed it
Oh,
up. I
that's
think we're
good.
done.
Yeah, I feel like the grievances are aired.
Okay.
Dude, we just spent forever talking about what we've been playing.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little time to move on.
All right, let's move on.
Announcements. Sean, we have some announcements this week.
Yeah, we do.
Are you gonna drive here? Or are you gonna?
I'll click
hang
some
out and
announcements.
Not drive. Because...
You gotta read them though. So
Okay. I mean, I'll read.
get ready for that.
Make sure you don't let any videos play. No. Just go to the thing and make sure no videos play.
All right.
Okay. So we're starting off with first announcement. Rayman Legends Definitive Edition was dated for the Switch this week. They say it will be coming on September 12th.
That's badass because Rayman Legends is just an endless amount of fun.
Have you played any of the Rayman games, Slayback?
Yeah, a little bit.
What do you think?
The
right.
recent ones?
No. Probably.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know much about them, I guess.
Oh, okay.
dude.
Because they completely revamped these games.
Okay.
The really awesome art style, really like Mario level kick-ass platforming. Like really good platforming, so much style. The sound design is incredible. The music is so much fun.
For
Really
me,
good.
these are what Sonic should have been because it's fast-paced platforming that actually feels good.
Yeah.
Whereas Sonic, you just run into a wall. And
Now,
lose
what's
all your
interesting about
momentum.
this
Yeah,
was
it's
Rayman
the weirdest thing about
Legends
Sonic.
was originally like a Wii U exclusive. Wii U was bombing, so then they decided to postpone the game, launch on all the other platforms.
Good move.
And now here it is coming back to
Strong move.
Nintendo platforms.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
great.
I was
I'll
one of
probably
the-
buy this.
I was one of the legions of people that didn't play Wii U. I didn't even have a Wii, actually.
Really, I had a Wii
Yeah.
at
You didn't have
launch
a
and then
Wii?
sold it.
I just wasn't into it. I mean, I liked Wii bowling and stuff, but
Yeah.
I thought most of the rest of the games were just like kind of gimmicky. I don't
They
know.
were.
I mean,
They were, yeah.
It's cool. It was a good party thing. I
Totally.
liked it.
I mean,
But I'm
everyone
so
and their
into the
grandma
Switch.
already had it, so you didn't need one.
Yeah.
You would just go over and you're like, "Yeah, I got a Wii. All right."
Tell grandma to
But I'm
bring it.
back in. I'm back in on the Nintendo. Like I have a Switch. I'm
nice.
You have a Switch?
Yeah, of course. I got it launch day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were in San Francisco at GDC when it launched.
Oh,
And
nice.
So
And you
it
guys
got
went to Target or
delivered.
whatever?
Yeah, and I came back to the office like after my flight so I could pick it up and
sick.
go
Nice.
play Zelda before I went to bed.
Oh, Zelda's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
Love it.
You should definitely play this game. If you're into platformers at all, it is a masterpiece.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm a little
dang.
worried. I'm a little worried
Strong,
about this
strong.
version because I don't think they announced a price, and this game's really old, and you can get it for really cheap on a lot of the other consoles. So
Yeah.
I would hate for this to be a $40 or $60 game.
If it's your first time playing it, though, it's absolutely worth it. If you don't
Yeah.
own it on 3 other platforms.
That's true, but if you
already.
have the other platforms, I would say get it there first.
Yep. Agreed. Next up.
Okay, so this one's a little bit of a delay because earlier this week, this totally happened randomly out of nowhere. Overcooked was announced, or it was dated and priced for the Switch, and it came out this past week. So it's already out. So if you don't know about this game, Overcooked Special Edition came to the Switch this past Thursday, July 27th. It's $20. It's the Special Edition. It includes all the DLC. Have you heard anything about Overcooked, Slayback?
Yeah, I really want to try it.
It's so much fun.
It's really cool.
I've heard that the Switch has frame rate issues though, so maybe hold off on the Switch version.
Not
It's the
surprised.
killer.
They might.
I want to buy
package it.
everything on the Switch, but I can't because of the frame rate.
Yeah,
dude, I know.
and because nothing comes out on Switch.
But this is the perfect platform for this game. Any game where you can just break off the controllers and hand it to someone else and just play right there on the spot, like
It's huge.
totally amped for that.
Yeah.
All right, Sims 4 has been confirmed for the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Now that's really interesting because I didn't know development on the Sims franchise was actually continuing.
I
thought-
assume it's going to always continue because it's kind of a big moneymaker for EA.
I thought Maxis kind of
it's like Madden
moved
now,
away
right?
from that.
Yeah, well, so apparently The Sims 4 will be released for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on November 17th. Later this year, there were some rumors going around for a while, actually, about this game heading maybe only to Xbox One. But I guess that's not true. So I'm intrigued by this because didn't The Sims 4 come out like forever ago?
It was
time
like
ago.
2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
I want to
and-
know what the audience. I want to know what the audience is like for this.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I totally agree because
These are huge games.
yeah, I mean when we were working at EA, like The Sims were still huge. Like that was a huge thing for EA.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't do this if it didn't like project to do something.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason they're putting money behind it. So
Yeah, I
Cool.
mean the consoles are so huge right now. I mean, I feel like you there's a chance you could capture the thing I always think of is Sims 2. Like I feel like that was the game that blew up, right? Like Sims 2, I feel like everyone had Sims 2. Like,
Yeah.
anywhere you went, like everyone knew about Sims 2.
On GameCube.
Sims 2 is like missed. Like Housewives played this
Yeah.
game. Like, and when I say
Yeah.
Housewives, I'm not. I'm saying
It's not
from my
derogatory. It's
from
just, like,
my own
people who
life.
didn't play-
When I went over to my friends' houses, their moms would
Their
be
wives
playing
were
The
there.
Sims 2.
So you went over to someone's house and the wife that lived in that house played the game.
Correct.
Okay, good. Cleared
Checks
that up.
out. Checks out.
Right. So
Dodged a bullet.
Oh, well, so The Sims is actually one game that I would much rather play on PC than on console.
hey man, if they do a good interface, maybe it'll work.
I don't think that's possible. There's never been a good interface for a game with that many controls.
That's true. I agree. That is a game that feels like it's just kind of naturally gonna work better on PC.
I think it'll be fun on stream for a little while. I think dudes will have fun like boxing people in and stuff. You know,
Yeah.
classic
Of
Sims
course.
moves.
That's
Yeah.
that's true.
Taking the ladder out of the pool.
I actually just saw a GIF the other day where it was like in Sims, this is how babies are made, and it was like it was a couple like in the bed or whatever, supposed to be hooking up, and then all of a sudden their models just completely broke, and they were like bending over like completely messed up.
Yeah, animation bugs and physics bugs are the best bugs.
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious. All right, so next up, the new Marvel mobile game was announced this week. Now, this is interesting because this is kind of one of those like almost like bullshit announcements where it's
Yeah,
like,
this is one of my favorite
Oh,
things
yeah.
you guys do.
yeah. So
Second
Marvel
sentence.
Marvel Entertainment and Aftershock. Who's Aftershock? Have announced a new mobile game set in the Marvel universe. Oh my god, I'm so excited! Tell me more about it.
Here comes more.
Details, including a title, are scarce right now.
Wait, so they're naming specifically the title as a detail that they don't have? Like
Yes.
details including this one you might want or this one you might want
We don't
are not happening.
We don't have them. The only concrete pieces of information so far are that the game will be an action RPG and will include PvP multiplayer elements.
Oh, when they say elements,
Action
that means they
RPG,
don't know what
okay.
they're talking
Yeah.
about.
That's something.
I love action RPGs, but don't give me a fucking action RPG on a phone. You can't play that shit on a
There's
phone.
like a million action RPGs on the phone.
But
Are
you
you kidding
can't
me?
play
Yeah,
them.
what's the
you
hack
can.
and slash game that's actually pretty
There's no
good?
buttons.
There's one that was like a ripoff of whatever the Microsoft one was, like Dungeon something.
Oh,
Dungeon Hunter?
Hunters?
Yeah,
Dungeon
yeah,
Hunter
yeah.
1
Is
through
that-
5 they have like now on.
Those are pretty good.
I thought they were okay.
Yeah, they were-
If
for-
you can deal with this, like the virtual
having a touchscreen,
joypad,
they're awesome.
That's the thing. I can't. Can you?
Yeah, I played that game for a while.
Well, the other thing is every
I-
phone now has controller attachments. That
Yeah,
actually,
but-
I mean, it's basically a Switch.
But just give it to me on the Switch.
Now, do you want to hear the quote from the Marvel senior VP
Read it
of
to me,
games?
Sean. Read it to me.
The game will be the full package.
That's all we need to know right there.
It's shaping up to be one of our biggest and boldest projects in our mobile portfolio, and we know it will exceed our fans' expectations.
All right. Good.
How
They
can
know
you,
it.
How can you say no to that?
Yeah.
I'm already pre-downloading it.
I'm
What
a
is
fan.
this announcement doing, guys?
I don't
What is the
know.
strategy here? Right?
It's like they don't even want to talk about it. It somehow just got out.
Do you think that's what it was, or do you think it was like a press release, like, boys, we're ready to kick off the campaign?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Stoke the fires.
All right.
What is this action RPG?
Well, what can we tell
Wait,
them?
hold up. Do we have
Nothing.
any concept art? No. Wait, hold up. Do we have a design doc? Do we have?
Oh, they
What's the
probably
game
have
gonna
all
be?
that. Yeah.
No. We don't have the design doc, but we're gonna make an RPG.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
just a regular RPG? Well, we could make it action.
Call it action. People like action. Action tests well.
They have a bunch of Marvel mobile games.
Yeah.
Right?
So
They have the card game. They have the fighting game. They have the top-down. It looks like an action RPG.
okay. Well, what
I
makes
saw Garza playing it at work.
what
It's like a
makes this
free-to-play PC
interesting
game.
now, though, is I think this is the first mobile game coming out of Marvel really trying to rebrand their video game, like, I don't want to say department, but branch, I guess I would say, because they recently started to take command over what's going on with their entertainment stuff, as far as video games. Like, they kind of used to just like send stuff off and no one really cared. But the same way I think they took over their movies and were like, look, we're gonna do this right. They're doing it with games now. That's why they reached out to Insomniac and they made the Spider-Man deal. And I think it's
Which is
why
looking awesome.
Spider-Man
it's
looks
like
awesome.
they're finding people that are right for them to make the kind of games that they think should they should make.
It used to be like a pure
Hey, who's
money
gonna pay
equation.
us? Yeah, who's gonna pay us money to make Spider-Man games?
Yeah.
That's kind of where it was.
Back in the day,
you
it was
know?
just contracted out to whoever, to the lowest bidder.
And now I think I don't remember their names, but the two guys, or like that guy who made the quote about the full package, like they're very invested in like finding the right teams and actually making good games, and they're not just gonna ship games just to ship them anymore.
No,
So-
they're going to ship a high-quality free-to-play mobile game that's going to make a lot of money.
exactly.
That's what they're doing right
Top
now.
of the
I mean,
charts.
Spider-Man the Insomniac Spider-Man looks awesome. It's almost like a vanity project compared to how much these mobile games are going to sell. Like how much the free-to-play transactions actually make.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
And good on Insomniac, man. I'm so excited to see how that game turns out.
I'm
too.
ready for them to
Me
come
too.
back.
LA development. All right.
Okay, last announcement for this week. This one's super exciting for me. Maybe not to some of our people who don't like JRPGs in this room, but Dragon Quest XI coming to the West. Dragon Quest XI.
Don't they all come to the West?
They don't. Dragon Quest X is never launched over here.
Really?
And a lot of times, like, they take a long time to come out to the West.
Well, this one's
So-
going to as well.
Well, no, because it just shipped, like, I think this week. in
Oh,
Japan.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually a
Dragon
short
Quest
window.
XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age, will be released in the West sometime in 2018.
I mean, that's obviously the end of 2018 or 2019.
Yeah, fiscal.
Square Enix has announced. Franchise creator Yuji Horii shared the news in a video message addressed to Dragon Quest fans, during which he confirms the localization work has already begun. Awesome.
Wow.
The game is being
This
localized
is a real announcement.
into 5 languages, one of which is English. Now, this is awesome for many reasons, because I think we're kind of on this resurgence of like really, really good quality JRPGs right now. Like, we got Nier hit really big this year. You got Persona hitting pretty big. You had Final Fantasy 15 did well. And Dragon Quest, I feel like, hasn't quite hit like that level of success in the West yet, but I think this could be the time, especially if they get this thing on Switch like they say they're going to.
Really? They're going for Switch?
It's launching on Switch later
Okay,
this
now
year
I'm
in Japan.
excited.
So the Switch and the PS4 and the 3DS versions are all different. Have you seen this? They're
No,
actually like physically different like games. It's the same story in the same like world, but the design is different. So like on the 3DS, like it's totally scaled down to look more like a classic JRPG.
Yeah.
And then the Switch version, I think, is something similar to that. I think the Switch version has 3 different art styles in it or something. And then yeah, it's really weird. And then the PS4 version
Gotta
is
have
like
3.
their like really shiny, pretty looking version of the game. But it's the same
Cool,
story,
that's
the
crazy.
same characters. It's
I
just
like how
the art's
crazy that
different.
is.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah, it's nuts. So I think that's it for announcements, right?
Indeed.
So,
So, it seems like we got something else coming up, right? Oh, what's happening?
Oh, we're getting a pulse together.
All right, what do you got first?
Sean, this week. This
Yeah,
one's
what?
interesting. Let's just go through it real quick. Friday the 13th developer not abandoning game. I find it funny that someone has to make a headline like this.
Yeah.
The stories were pretty bad last
I
week.
find
They
it
were.
funny that we're talking about this.
Sean finds it funny because he didn't hear about it, but like this was almost like a doomsday for this game. I feel like, because somehow word got out that they're working on another game, right? And apparently people didn't realize that this studio was actually working on another game, but they were working on this game before they were working on Friday the 13th. So people all of a sudden thought because they were launching this new game that they were going to drop support on Friday the 13th. So basically, in the statement posted to Reddit, Chuck Brungart wrote, "I wanted to address the concerns that Lilphonic has abandoned Friday the 13th. The game for Dead Alliance, this is 100% not true. Most major and independent studios have multiple teams working on multiple projects at the same time. This is critical for the survival of the studio, especially when the ups and downs of the game industry.
Can't confirm.
Dead Alliance was started way before Friday the 13th, the game." He goes on to explain that the Friday the 13th scope will actually increase in scope. With the recent success of Friday the 13th, the game, we have been increasing our staff on the title. We originally, that's such a weird sentence to read. We originally had about 20 internal team members working on Friday the 13th, the game. I have to say that every time. Like, that's the title. It's Friday the 13th,
really?
the game.
Do you think he said that in the interview?
And are now up to about 30 internal team members. We also have opened second office into sole purpose is to support the development of Friday the 13th, the game. So basically, they're staffing up instead of abandoning support for the game. So it's the exact opposite. And I wonder, like, if that was how did that get out? Like, how did they blunder that messaging so badly?
Did they?
They announced whatever the other one's called, Dead Alliance.
Dead Alliance, yeah.
Was it just
so I guess it's a
interpretation?
zombie game? Like, what is it?
I don't know. I
What
know
did they
nothing
even
about
announce? Like, what is the...
I know nothing about that game. Apparently, it was crowdfunded a while ago or something. And the whole Friday the 13th, the game thing, is so fascinating to me. Have you played it at all, Slayback?
No, I played Dead. No, I've
You
watched.
played Dead Alliance?
I've watched Dead by Daylight. Is that the one that's basically the same premise?
Oh, is
I
it?
think so.
I've heard of
It's a
that.
serial
I've heard of
killer.
that.
Like, it's a killer with a bunch of high schoolers or whatever.
It's a bunch of people. I don't know if they're all high schoolers, but some of the models look like older people. But yeah, it was just like asymmetric multiplayer. So one guy's the killer, and everybody else is the supposed victim, and they can like fight back. But the ultimate goal is to like escape, basically.
Okay. So
And
it is the exact same game.
It's the same exact game, yeah.
So the Friday the 13th thing is surprising to me. I kind of thought that game would bomb, but I think it's doing really well. Like, I see it in the PlayStation Store. It's like one of the featured titles. My uncle texted me the other day. He's like, "Dude, I'm hooked on Friday the 13th, the game. Have you played it?" And I'm
Nice.
like, I actually don't think he said Friday the 13th, the game. Now I'm stuck calling it that because of that stupid article. I would just call it Friday the 13th. Yeah, so I guess it's like, it's getting out there way more than I thought it would be.
It didn't review super well, right?
Yeah, because it's super janky. Like, I watched gameplay videos of it, and it's like, it looks so boring to play. Like,
I think if you did it right, it's a cool premise.
Yeah.
But I haven't played it, so I don't really know. I think it's totally normal for people to overreact. Like,
Yeah.
To get back to the news item, I think people are going to overreact, especially if they feel like, and this wouldn't be a problem if they felt like the game community
super
was already
polished.
well served.
yeah.
You know, they'd be like,
Yeah.
good for you. You know, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Oh, I'm a little worried it's going to take away from this game, but it's not like, are you kidding me? Like, this game doesn't even work.
It's not
you
even
know, like,
finished.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like lots of like bugs in that game, and it's really janky, and like the servers have issues, so it's hard to get into games sometimes. So, yeah, I would say
it's tough
maybe
to launch an
it's
online
I think
game,
it's their
man.
own fault
Yeah.
that they like that this other. Maybe it's not their fault, but it's unfortunate that this other game is starting to launch soon, and then like they just launched Friday the 13th, because I don't think it was their intention to have them launch so closely together. But you know, like they said in the game industry, it's hard. Like, you got to do things to keep the lights on, you know. And it's like, if you already had this other game deal already set up, and it's like it's got to be published sometime soon, you got to do it, you know.
Yeah.
So, all right, next up, Sean, tell us about this one.
Pokemon Go Fest. You remember that debacle?
Yes.
Niantic reportedly horrified by the problems.
Great
Now-
headline. Great headline.
As they
This is a
should
quote.
be.
Horrified is in quotes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Scare quotes. So are they horrified? I don't know. So
Yes.
Pokemon Go developer Niantic has apologized for the problems at its recent Pokemon Go Fest in Chicago, with a spokesperson saying staff were horrified. Niantic had already posted an official apology and offered refunds and rewards for those in attendance, which is great. They needed to.
Yeah, you have to.
But they were apparently more strident behind the scenes. Speaking to Polygon and other press in attendance, the spokesperson explained, obviously, they can't completely make it up to all the people who have come out to Chicago today, but they want to extend the fact that they're extremely apologetic and unhappy with the process and the results. So hopefully this is something that we will never see replicated again. Learn from this and move on.
How did they not know this was going to happen ahead? I just don't understand how
They
they didn't
did.
expect.
Yeah.
Like, how could you not have planned, like, put up a couple extra
For the
fucking
Super
servers
Bowl,
or
they
Wi-Fi or
bring
whatever.
like a Verizon truck to the spot or whatever. They bring an AT&T truck. Like all the
Yeah.
providers have deals with the NFL, and it's like they've already figured it out. We're going to extend people's wireless so they don't come into this dead zone where
Yeah.
everybody's competing for coverage.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's like I can't believe they didn't do it.
I know, right?
And I get that if it's their first event, like whoever's running this, it was probably their first time, and they didn't know all the nitty gritty details, but they didn't do their research either. This was an
I feel
avoidable
bad
problem.
for 'em because the spirit of the event was really cool.
Yeah, totally.
My son
Yeah.
and I played Pokemon Go. I'm not too serious about it, but
Yeah.
we just like to like walk around the neighborhood and catch Pokemon. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like a cool community.
Yeah, it's
It is
awesome.
fun.
It's fun. It's a cool streaming game, man. When you watch someone out in the wild with like a head cam streaming Pokemon Go, that's some new
Wait,
stuff.
does that actually
yeah.
happen?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Holy
some people
shit.
spoof their GPS location and they're sitting in their room. That's not cool. Let me tell you what's cool. Someone walking around Brooklyn catching freaking
In the middle of the
Pikachus.
night.
Nah, I mean, you know, they're just, it's just cool. I don't know. I like that IRL streaming. I like
is
that,
cool.
Like mobile streaming. I think
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah, that does sound fun.
But this stinks, man. People who like Pokemon Go, this is a game for everybody. You know, like, you know, everybody in the family can play this game.
Yeah,
and
totally.
people came from like overseas for this thing.
Yeah. Well, there's actually kind of been an update to this. Like, I didn't put it in the list necessarily, but a bunch of people who did travel for this are actually putting together a lawsuit. So they are
Yeah.
suing Niantic now.
Makes sense.
They want their travel
I think that's
compensated.
Fair. Honestly, I think that's fair.
I
don't know.
Yeah.
I was
it
listening
is.
to some people talk about it this week, and they had an interesting argument. Like, they were saying that a lot of times concerts get canceled. Like, Kanye West will just fucking up and
Yeah, he
cancel
just doesn't-
concerts,
he just doesn't do it,
and
yeah.
you don't get reimbursed for that. You know, if you
That's
travel
also
to go to that
shitty.
concert, like you just like you mean you'll get your concert ticket back, and that's what Niantic did. They gave back the money for the event.
Right, but if you
like,
traveled to go watch
they're not responsible for
Jesus.
that necessarily, right?
I mean,
Like,
if they sell it outside of that territory, they kind of are. And I'm sure there's fine print that covers their ass, but it's just shitty.
yeah, I kind of agree with you, Slayback. I do feel like that would be the kind gesture there. Like, hey, you really blew it. Maybe go above and beyond trying to salvage some of your greatest fans.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
how many people were at this event?
thousands apparently.
It was a big crowd.
It was
So
huge.
it was huge, but they could probably drop like a couple $100,000 to just make this
Go
right.
away.
Yeah,
And
I
they
think
have
that's what's
to.
going to happen to it.
I
think it's just going to
they're
go
gonna
away.
make them take it to that level, though,
Yeah.
before they settle.
I think
it.
so.
Yeah.
It just sucks because fans of this game have been through so much with the servers and just the game being broken for so long when it came
Yeah.
out and all of that, and they still clung to it and they still wanted that same excitement of finding a Charmander or something when it came out the first night and you're running across the street with everyone else.
Dude, that was so much fun.
It was
But-
insane, man. Yeah, 50 people clustered around the library.
Never
Yeah.
seen anything like it. We'll never see anything like it again, I don't think.
That was a phenomenon. That was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, it's still cool. I still like playing Pokemon Go. It's
I'm
fun. It's fun to
almost-
get out and walk around, look for Pokemon.
Yeah.
But if they actually want people to have the like, you catch a rare one experience or something like,
It's got to be a little bit more reliable.
yeah,
Yeah. Did you ever go to the pier, Santa Monica Pier,
yeah.
looking for Pokemon? And it was
Uh,
just huge crowds.
No, not during the big.
Oh, okay.
It was another time that I
Yeah.
was with my son.
It was
we go down to the
insane down
arcade there, and we like.
Okay.
He likes to play we like to play the arcade games
Yeah.
together.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty good arcade.
It's pretty good, man. They got Mario Kart 8 machines.
Oh,
Yes.
I love that.
All right, Sean, what's up next?
All right.
Mr. Driver, who's
Let's
not
see.
driving and getting the podcast
Oh,
He's
ready.
doing
Sorry, we were
fine.
still
Ease
talking.
up.
Sorry, we were still talking about that news story. Sure.
This guy's on point. He's been ahead of every
Nintendo
news story
Switch
so far.
sells 4.7 million units. ARMS and Mario Kart sell strongly.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Almost 5 million.
I'm
That's-
amazed about ARMS.
Dude.
I thought that game was gonna be DOA.
Oh, yeah.
I want that game to be DOA. I don't like. I just don't want Nintendo resources going into that game. Don't give me ARMS. Give me Punch Out. I want Punch Out.
Aren't they trying to get
Give
like
me a-
Smash Crowd? I mean, what's the
I
what's
honestly,
the ARMS demo, you guys? Who are they selling that game to?
I
Who has
honestly,
that game?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
I
couldn't
really
tell
don't
you
know.
who these 1.2
I really
people
don't know.
are. It's,
Why don't they just put Smash Brothers out on Switch?
they
Why are-
will? I
Okay.
think they're. I don't know.
I think they're trying to catch the excitement of like a Wii Sports or something like that. Just some zany thing that you're doing, some gimmick, basically.
I mean, that's the thing, right? This is the period of time. The console's fresh. They're really going to push this gimmick until like 2 years down the line. They're going to make one without motion controls because they realize no one wants it.
So ARMS sold 1.18 million units. So that's crazy.
It's nuts.
It's like a quarter of Switch owners.
But what
That's
this
nice
shows,
retention.
what this shows, and like honestly, I'm one of these people. People with Switches buy fucking games.
Yeah.
I'm buying so many games on the Switch. Because I just want to try them out. Like,
Sure.
I'm loving playing things on the Switch. I love the hardware. So when something comes out that's even remotely interesting, I try it. ARMS, I didn't. I got excited for a little while, and then I played the last test demo, and I was like,
punch.
yeah, test punch or whatever.
Punching a volleyball.
And it just didn't work for me. Like, I just didn't think it was that fun, and I couldn't see myself spending $60 on a game that was just that.
You were trying so hard to be excited for it.
I was. I really was.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 3.54 million.
That's nuts.
75% attach rate.
Guys, that game is so good.
It's so amazing.
It is so good. I mean,
It's like my favorite racing game right now.
Yeah.
yeah, it deserves it, but I just think that's crazy because it's also a remake of a game that already exists.
But nobody played it. Nobody had a Wii U. Why is this?
true.
It should not surprise you. You know, I think it's good.
It's
I think
great.
It's awesome.
I didn't have a Wii U, so I want to play all that
Mario
stuff.
Kart
just-
8, also a great game. Break that controller off. You got two
Yeah.
Joy-Cons. You little 6.5-year-old, it fits right in his hands.
I was
know what I
thinking
mean?
about that. I was
Yeah.
like, I bet with kids the Joy-Cons are amazing.
They're great.
Do you give
he's-
him the left Joy-Con or the right Joy-Con?
He gets the minus symbol, not the plus symbol. He could take screenshots, but he can't go to the home menu.
Okay, yeah, that's a
Nice.
good call. That's a safe call.
All right, some more sales data here. Persona 5 sales top 1.8 million worldwide.
Are we gonna read the article here, Sean? Or are we just
I
gonna
mean, what
just
else
talk
is
about
there
the
to say?
headline?
There's,
What
I think
else
that's
is there
basically
to
it.
say?
That's basically
Like,
it. It was
let's
more
talk
of like
about
All right, guys.
no, I'm just great. I think it's great. I think that I feel like there's been a little mini renaissance of games from Japan, especially on the console recently.
As I said earlier, with like Nier and Final Fantasy.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that I wonder like what their expectations were for that game.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
2 million worldwide.
I think mine
if
were
you
higher.
think about like American like standards for like hits, you get like Square Enix releasing Tomb Raider and it sells 5 million copies, and they're like,
not
no, that
good
was a
enough.
disappointment.
Yeah.
You know, and you're
And
like,
this is a
wow.
100+ hour game. There's so
Dude,
much content
There
here.
is an insane amount of content.
I mean, I feel like you could redesign Persona 5 to be like a 30-hour game, and you
Yeah.
would get the essence of it. Like,
Yeah.
but
And a lot of it is just quests and with the same like assets and everything, but it's just I expected it to be a bigger phenomenon since just anecdotally so many people are
Do
playing it
you-
around us.
in that article, does it say how many it sold in Japan versus America? Because that's what I'm interested in. I
I
want to
think
know.
they just announced the big number.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. You have the article in front of you.
So yeah, I guess it doesn't really. Yeah, it doesn't specify. That would be interesting to me. I would love to know.
There's
what
no benefit to them to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Persona 5, there's a Persona 5 anime coming to Japan in 2018.
Awesome.
Cool.
You know what this is? Like this allows you to not finish the game and then you can just see the story.
I'm into it.
Yeah. Well, do you think it'll mirror the story?
Yeah, that's what there's a Persona 3 and a Persona 4 anime, and that's what it is. It's the
Okay.
story of the game in anime form.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I'd watch that.
And I actually kind of want to watch the Persona 4 anime since I never finished that game either.
Yeah, I never finished any of them. I
Like the
played
Cliff's
3,
Notes
4, and
once you
5.
tap out.
Exactly, it totally is.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about PlayStation Plus and Xbox games with gold?
Yeah, let's just run through them real quick.
All right, let's do
See how we
games
feel
with
about
gold first. What do they got for free this month?
And let's play a little game. We can all say who wins this month. We all pick. Xbox or PlayStation.
Sure.
All right, once we go through them all.
Okay. Well, Xbox is off to a strong start with Slime Rancher. I mean, they have to win off of that, right? Off of that alone.
Is there any context for the slime ranching?
Nope. Slime Rancher, which has been in
here we go.
Steam Early Access for quite some time, is a first-person sim game that has you manage a farm of slime creatures.
That's
Okay,
exactly
that's kind of what I thought it would be.
So it's like Farming Simulator, but like
with
this
slime.
weird fantasy
Yeah,
twist.
yeah.
but
All
with
right.
slimes.
Or
That
like
sounds-
Monster Rancher.
Sounds interesting.
Trials Fusion, which actually is an amazing game. Love that game. That's the 2D. It's kind of like Excite Bike on acid.
Yeah.
Trials rocks.
Bayonetta, which
That's awesome. But that's an Xbox.
This is still Xbox?
It's an
Yeah.
Xbox 360 version.
That doesn't count.
and Xbox
Unless
One.
is it back compat?
It is.
Okay, it does count.
So yeah, I think all the games they release are backwards compatible on this now.
Yeah.
Okay.
The same thing with the next one, Red Faction Armageddon.
Oh, I remember that game.
That
Red
game
Faction
was-
is fun for a little while, yeah.
Dude, all I did was blow up buildings.
Just destroying
Wait.
things
Oh
with the
my God,
sledgehammer.
no, but that
so
was
much
that
fun.
was Red Faction Gorilla.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
shit,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
right.
Armageddon
I
came
think
after
was
that.
not as good as.
I don't think I played that one.
I didn't either.
I think they put you back underground.
Yeah, you were like in a
and it
cave.
didn't make sense because like the whole part of that game that was fun was just blowing up all
That
the
was
buildings
great.
on the
It was
surface.
so good.
Dude,
All
I
right.
would just take a sledgehammer and spend like 30 minutes using a sledgehammer to knock down a skyscraper.
Yeah, this was pre
Me
Minecraft.
too. It's so
Dude,
stupid.
I don't know why that was so much fun.
Pre Minecraft era.
That's true, yeah.
It felt super powerful.
Yeah.
That was the adult version of Minecraft.
Minecraft. It's pretty good for everybody when it first came out.
It's pretty good.
Everybody was playing that.
So let's see what PlayStation Plus has cooking. PlayStation
Okay.
4, you've got Just Cause 3. I'm
Just
super
Cause
pumped
3.
about that because
Okay.
I didn't
That's
play
cool.
I feel
didn't
like
play
that's
it either.
better than everything you just mentioned
that.
for
Yeah,
Xbox.
it is.
Already.
That's top tier. And Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry.
Now I had to look this up. When I saw Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, I was like, "What
that
the
a
fuck
mobile
is that?" Yeah, is that a mobile game? No, what it is, it was the standalone expansion for Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Apparently, that was its like you didn't need to have the game. It was like a downloadable, like standalone game.
Oh.
Huh.
So
Okay.
you're
like,
getting basically a piece
pirate
of
ship
yeah,
stuff?
Assassin's Creed 4, a smaller version of Assassin's Creed 4, basically.
All right.
All right. Well, they've got more. PlayStation 3 gets Super Motherload.
Oh God!
And
what is
Snake Ball.
Snake Ball?
Snake Ball.
I feel like PlayStation 3 doesn't count.
Yeah,
like
it's
when
out.
when I read these things, I don't look at the PS3
Yeah, but
section.
but
Vita,
Snake Ball,
though.
Snake Ball sounds strong.
Vita, though. Level 22. Doesn't really sound like a game. And Downwell, which I didn't know Downwell was going to be free.
Yeah, download's
That's
free.
fucking
and
awesome, 'cause
That's
I
cross-buy
haven't
with
played
PS4.
that yet.
So if you get it on Vita, you get it on PS4.
Oh, man. I'm going to play that.
That's fun. That's a fun game.
So
Okay,
who
alright,
do you
let's
think
vote.
won?
I'm gonna go PS4 or Sony.
I
Yeah.
tipped my hand already. It's PlayStation.
I'll say Sony as well.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, you fucking Sony nerds. Fanboys. It's proof. All right. Uncharted Lost Legacy has
Legacy.
sandbox open area in Chapter 4.
Okay. Now I thought this was interesting. I put this in here. I was thinking it's one of the things we could have cut, but you just jumped right into it anyway.
Yeah, well, you asked me to cut things, and then I called out 5 things to cut. And you're
No,
like,
no, no,
talk
no.
about that one.
Let me explain. What happened. Slayback's on his way down here. He's on the 405. He texts me. It's 405 RN means right now. So
Texting on the 405. Strong move.
no. He used
If you
voice
are
chat.
familiar with the 405, it's not a problem. It's usually pretty slow.
So he's like that, and I'm like, yo, Sean, can you go look through the weekly roundup real quick, see if there's anything you want to cut? So I say that. Next thing I hear from Sean is, yo, dude, so I just signed on to Facebook, and there's this chick that's commenting on this event right now, and dude, you gotta see her. You gotta come over here and look at this. Look at what's going on right now. And I'm like, dude, Sean, didn't I just ask you to look at the weekly roundup? And he's like, whatever, I'll get to it.
Yeah, and then 1 second later, I had 5 stories on the chopping block, and you fucking saved
And they
their
were all
asses.
Xbox stories.
Yeah,
so I
and-
said, no, let's not cut all the Xbox stories again.
Wow, that's like forced equality. It doesn't work. And now we're at an hour and 30 minutes.
No, because we
into the-
rolled for a lot earlier. It's
Okay,
not
so
quite
we're at
that
an
long.
hour and
We're like
20
an hour.
minutes.
It's good. We're cruising through now.
All right,
We're hitting
anyway,
our
talk
stride.
about this. Uncharted. No, we're skipping it.
No,
We're
no,
cutting
no,
it.
no.
Nope, we're cutting
Okay,
it.
well, let me just say what's
Cutting it.
interesting.
Don't
real
say
quick.
it. Xbox One X pre-orders could be happening soon. Nope, cutting that.
No, we're not
Dying
cutting
Light
it.
is
That's
getting
one of the
another year
pre-orders.
of DLC. Oh, that's cool. Dying Light is a cool game.
This guy is off the fucking rails. Who let him drive this podcast? This is
Choo
going
choo,
insane.
I want to hear about
Motherfucker.
Dying Light.
Dying Light to receive 10 free DLC drops in the next year. Oh, did they do that because it's Dying Light and they have like supply drops? Probably not.
I don't know, dude. I don't think you're stretching for that.
I haven't played
Techland
it yet.
has
Brad,
announced.
you're the person that gave me the Dying Light reco, but
Dude,
I haven't followed through on it yet.
Oh man, I absolutely adore this game.
That's a damn fine game.
It is amazing in so many ways. Like
Tell us some of the ways.
Well, okay. First of all, it's the premise. It seems like it's not unique, but when you play the game, it feels like different than any other game I've played.
yeah, because it's like
even now,
John
like,
Carpenter creepy synth music vibes.
It
and
is. It's got this.
awesome.
Oh yeah, it's got this awesome John Carpenter-esque score, and the contrast between daytime and nighttime in this game is so well done. Like when
It changes gameplay drastically.
Yeah, during the daytime, zombies are all pretty slow. They kind of like stumbling around, and you just go around and like you're kind of just kicking ass.
And it's like a Dead Island spiritual successor, right? So you're
Yeah.
like melee
It
killing
is.
these zombies, and
It
then
is.
also I heard the Dying Light twist is they added like a parkour sort of
Yeah, exactly.
system.
So they have a parkour system, and so you're eventually upgrading to like where you can like jump over zombies and like mantle faster and like climb up walls and like wall run a little bit or just jump up and so what's unique about this game is that the combat in what was it, Dead Island, never felt satisfying to me. The combat in this game feels really good. Like kicking zombies down and slicing off their body parts and just blowing them up and stuff like that. With like when you hit them with a weapon, it's like you see like the part of their body like break. And it's like it's so awesome. It's super satisfying. The progression system is really rewarding. Leveling up and upgrading weapons and finding like weapons that are stronger, because your weapons all have like kind of a limited durability. They will eventually break for good, and you can kind of like hold that off by repairing them and getting better repair skills and stuff like that. But you're kind of always rotating, kind of like Zelda Breath of the Wild, honestly, where like you're kind of rotating through this cache of weapons.
Yeah.
So finding weapons is always exciting because you kind of always need something. And then they do a great job of just making the world feel dangerous, where like you'll see a couple zombies, they're by a car, you're like, okay, I can take them. So you go up, you kill them, but that noise that you made all of a sudden has attracted like 30 more zombies, and they're right behind you and you didn't see them, and you're like, oh shit. And so now you're like, okay, fuck, I need to get out of here. I gotta jump up on this car, get up onto this building. And it feels like the perfect zombie like simulator. Like it really feels like a scary world. And then so you're out in daytime, and then nighttime rolls around and they're like, hey dude, like on the radio, like you should get back, it's not safe, you know this.
Your watch starts beeping.
Yeah, your watch starts beeping. It's like the sun's going down, and like they're like, hey, you should really get to a safe house. And if you don't make it to a safe house, these
like fast zombies, right?
like fast, really dangerous zombies. Like if they get to you in the beginning of the game, pretty much you're dead in one hit. There's nothing you can do about it. You can eventually like grind and get strong enough and be able to fight them off, but you can never really like go toe to toe with them. It's kind of like, okay, you can kill one or two, but then you got to get out.
You can run away though. If it's like you have to be very precise in your parkour.
Yeah, if you make one mistake, they're just on you. And
sounds
like,
pretty intense.
It's so intense and it's really fun.
So what's the DLC? What are they? What's new?
So the remarkable thing is this game came out in early 2015.
Yeah, like January.
And it's a single player. Well, there are multiplayer elements, but it's primarily a single player game, an open world game. And the game still has 500,000 average weekly players.
Wow,
That's so surprising.
Fucking impressive.
That's awesome.
Now the thing to remember is that
thing has been on Steam sale all over the place.
Yeah.
Though.
Beginning
I mean, it doesn't
of-
surprise me.
beginning of last year, I believe, they released a huge expansion, which was awesome. So I finished the main campaign, and then I started playing the expansion. I didn't finish the expansion. Now it kind of makes me feel like I should go back and do it.
How they
But the
expanded is it like a
expansion,
new area.
the expansion is a new map. You're outside of the city, so it's huge, open like fields and stuff, and it looks gorgeous and it's
that's
really
cool.
awesome. So it's just like tons of zombies like in fields, and you get a car. So you get this car that like Mad Max style, you're upgrading it. So you're adding like spikes and adding armor and like getting new wheels and new suspension, and all of this stuff is like so like you can just plow through zombies. And so it's all like you're all like upgrading this thing to be like this fortress to just mow over zombies, but it like takes damage and stuff. So you're constantly trying to repair certain parts of it. It's like this really cool give and take.
Was that free?
No, it was like I think $20 at the time.
That sounds awesome.
It's an amazing expansion. The whole game is just really cool.
It's so well done.
And the thing that I think is interesting, they say they're putting new enemy content in soon. I think that will breathe a huge breath of fresh air into the game, because that's the problem I had with it. By the end of the game, you've seen the same zombie models kind of over and over and over again. But if they're putting more variety into the enemies, I think that's going to help the game last even longer. I can't believe how many people are still playing it.
Yeah. I mean, they originally planned to support it until the end of 2016, but so many people are playing it that they decided to continue and give free DLC, which is amazing. I love this company for that.
I wonder, like, where's the next one at? I would think they would just double down on the next one.
They're still making money on this one, man.
I guess so, yeah. All right, Slayback, did you pre-order an SNES?
How could
A
you?
NES NES?
How could
Well-
you How could you do anything with these things?
Well,
you can't get them.
let me tell you.
You can't pre-order them.
You could have pre-ordered them when the Walmart pre-orders went open
Yeah,
last
but it's
week.
like a philosophical question. Like, if you pre-ordered it and then they canceled it, did you ever really pre-order it?
Well, that's exactly what happened. Sean, tell us.
Why am I telling us? You were like basically saying it. Now I'm telling him. All right, Walmart cancels SNES Classic Edition pre-orders.
And pass the mic.
After listing the Super NES Classic Edition as available for pre-order over the weekend, Walmart has been emailing customers to inform them their pre-orders have been canceled. And in the background, Nintendo has nothing to announce about pre-orders. So Walmart, you fucked up.
They did, big time. They're saying it was a technical glitch.
I believe that, actually.
I believe it too, but what's crazy about this is Nintendo didn't let them fulfill those orders, and then also, they still didn't say, hey, don't worry, like, this is the date we're going to let you pre-order.
Or
anything.
maybe
the
soon,
anything.
or
Maybe
anything.
the technical order was Nintendo still hasn't advised them how many units they're going to be able to buy.
Yeah.
And so the system went live with some, like,
Bogus number.
whatever the default is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I mean, Nintendo's messaging on these products is like, I feel like it's like borderline offensive to somebody who actually enjoys Nintendo games.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of agree. Like, it seems insane
It's a
to me.
travesty.
And then you combine that with the problems with Virtual Console that I have heard about, that you have to rebuy it on every platform.
Yep.
And they still don't have it for Switch, which is like, how do you not
Really
launch
sad.
the Switch with these games on it?
Yeah.
Makes no
Nintendo
sense.
should flex the library, man.
And it's not even planned for this year.
Yeah, next year. We gotta wait till next year to play
I think
Super
the
Mario
3DS
Brothers 3.
Didn't the 3DS launch with
Star Fox 2, though.
Yeah, well, that's an SNES Classic exclusive there, Slayback. So I don't know if you're gonna get that on the Switch.
You can play all these games if you want to, even on your PC.
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
let's not
even
talk about
on
that.
PC. Didn't the 3DS launch with access to a bunch of NES and SNES and like Neo Geo games and stuff?
I
Excite
can't remember
Bike.
if it launched with it, but I know shortly
It was
after
very shortly
because
after,
they did
yeah.
the ambassador program.
Yeah, I think they were there because I think didn't you get Zelda Adventures or something?
Well, I love Zelda Link's Awakening. That is
Link's
the
Awakening.
best Zelda game.
Zelda 2?
No. It's technically Zelda 3 or 4. I can't remember if it came after
What platform?
Link to the Past. Game Boy.
Okay.
Original Game Boy.
Okay.
Zelda Link's Awakening. Awesome, trippy, like weird Zelda game. Very cool. So, is that it for the roundup?
Yeah, so those are all of our stories for the roundup this
We
week.
wrapped up the roundup.
We wrapped
there.
it up.
Nice job, guys.
It's all wrapped up.
It was a little crazy at times. I
Yeah,
mean,
but we
we got the
lassoed-
driver over here. Maybe just kind of rode the horses a little too hard.
We
But
Rode 'em
lassoed
into the
that
ground.
steer. We lassoed that steer. We got
we
them.
did. We're coming
We
back
drove
in.
them doggies to market.
We're driving back into the Slime Ranch right now.
We got fresh horses now, and we're ready for chugga 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 chugga.
Get off the fucking tracks.
All right, so this week in the mail train, who sent this one? Oh, okay.
We have an email from a dear fan of ours, Phantom
Forza.
Forza? Is it
Forza.
Phantom Forza?
I'm gonna say Forza.
How do you?
Forza?
How's it spelled?
Forza. Forze.
Yeah.
Is that Forza?
Forza? It's
Phantom
not Forza. Forza it has an A at the end.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Phantom Force.
Okay. Force.
All right, Phantom
Force.
Force.
Phantom Force.
Phantom Force.
Anyway,
Phantom Force
he
5.
wants us to suspend our disbelief and imagine ourselves living in a dystopian future, one in which everything is
That's
rationed.
becoming increasingly easy to do.
Yeah, it's pretty close. One in which everything is rationed, including your gaming experience. And you were given the option to pick one game that you could play for the rest of your life. Which one would it be and why?
Shit, I should have thought about this question before we came into this.
Now, I think if we were in that future, I would probably abandon playing video games.
Okay, finish this thing.
Well, we don't want to seed anyone by saying what his answer is.
Yeah, well, I mean, no one's allowed to pick it after he says it.
Okay, lock it down. His choice will be GTA 5 Online because it is a living, breathing world filled with many variations that he would find very hard to get bored from.
I love that in the dystopian future they got the servers up.
Yeah, everything
Pick any
works
game.
perfectly.
This doesn't sound too bad.
There's new content coming out still.
Yeah, the first thing I would think of would be like, well, fuck, that would be a terrible game to work out to have without the internet.
Yeah,
Well, GTA 5 is still a pretty solid choice.
So it's rationed,
for
including
sure.
your gaming experience, but your network data not rationed.
I mean,
You
If
can
it's
get
like-
all the
Are
net
we
you
gonna
want.
just open? Yeah, is it free net?
I don't know.
Free
Maybe it's
net.
like 1984 where they like have a camera watching you as you play or something.
Okay. Well, this one's really tough because
it's a tough question.
there's like a couple games that I immediately come to mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, what are
How are
those?
you framing this? Is this like favorite game ever, or is this something that you feel like
That's
is
almost
replayable?
that's almost what it seems like to me. They might be one and the same. The first game that comes to my mind is Super Mario Brothers 3, which I absolutely adore, and I love that game.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, because I can play that game anytime. I could play that game every day, and I wouldn't get bored of it. But would that be the game I would want to play every day forever? That's what I'm trying to think of. Like, I could play that game every day, but
think-
is there a better, newer experience?
I think
that
no
maybe
matter
would be?
what game
I mean,
you
if we have
choose-
unlimited net,
For sure. We have to assume unlimited net. I feel like he already set that
opened
up.
up the
net.
net
He said,
gates.
yeah.
So then
The
people,
floodgates of the Tron-like traffic.
So the communities around these games will get super strong then, because a lot of games just fall off the map.
Well, I
It's
know
a good
what
point.
your
You're
game
locked
is,
into
Sean.
that community.
You're locked in.
You're like an Eve player.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
just
God.
in it for life.
Yeah.
Because if I think about multiplayer games, there's not many that like online multiplayer games that I play regularly. Right now, Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2 is pretty
It's
awesome.
like,
Like
as
Splatoon
you
2
expressed to me, this is barely an online multiplayer experience.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're in a dystopian future, all my friends are dead. I'm not gonna have friends to play with. I'm only gonna
So
be
that's
going
what
up
I was
against
thinking.
randos.
I
right?
think there are bigger problems in the world, and I would probably spend my time crafting explosives.
No,
and
Sean, that is
med
not the
kits.
question. You cannot twist this question.
Med
You got to
kits.
pick your one game. You can't be talking about med kits.
Well, I mean, if he's talking about now, it doesn't. Maybe gaming isn't such a big part of your life or your entertainment. You know, like maybe
Yeah.
you're only
Yeah.
playing 1 or 2 hours a week.
And
Maybe
it's
that changes
rationed.
your choice.
It's
That's true.
rationed.
You know?
It does change.
Okay,
my
1 or
choice.
2 hours a week. That's it.
I wouldn't frame it that way for myself. I don't think.
Ah.
I think
Just-
I would
just
still
for
frame
you.
it as like every night that I come home from my government-sponsored job in the Ministry of Truth. You know, I'm firing up like my guilty pleasure game is always like MLB The Show
Oh,
wow.
yeah,
for
that's a big one.
PlayStation.
Are they still making those?
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, every year.
And they added a feature where, so they have this mode called Road to the Show, which is kind of like a RPG.
Yeah.
You start as a rookie, you do some showcases, you get drafted by a team. They could trade you, maybe not, whatever. You can kind of influence that, and you just kind of rise through your career, and you can play it for a really long time.
Yeah.
And so they added a feature where you can transfer your save. I feel like this was like the holy grail for franchise mode or for you know, whatever sports RPG mode.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so I have a guy that I started on this year's game that I'm playing now, and he's been in the league for I think like 2 simulated years. But then I have this other guy that I transferred across like 3 versions of the game.
Dude, that's
That's
awesome.
really
Who's
cool.
he's like almost a Hall of Famer, and he has like 13 or 14 years in the league.
Yeah.
And I just like it's like some people, you know, will play Hearthstone, some people will come home and play a mobile game. Like if you had a hard day at work, you're not trying to learn something new.
Yeah.
You know, you're not trying to like have a competitive experience. You just come home, you crack open Hearthstone, you come home, you crack open, you know, whatever it is.
There's a guy, Greg Miller, on podcast who calls it like gaming comfort food. You know?
Sure.
And like that's in a way like that's what Persona has felt like to me. Like
Mm.
it's kind of like coming back home when I fire that game up. It's like super chill.
Yeah, you transport yourself.
Yeah. So you know, would Super Mario Brothers 3 be it for me? I'm gonna just say Super Mario Brothers.
I feel
3.
like you'd get super
It's not a bad
stressed.
choice, man. There's a lot of different levels, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
different ways to
If I'm
complete
coming in
them.
for an hour or two, like a week,
You can go full completion.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can do speed run. You could do Star World. I mean,
love that. There's
Yeah.
no Star World in Super Mario Brothers 3. That's
there's
Super Mario World.
Do they have Warp World? Are you
They,
warping
they
around
have,
the
they,
map
have,
somehow?
they have the warp flutes.
Oh, that's what
Flutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Warp flutes.
Sean, what about you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's tough. I feel like I would have to if the net is up. That's just so unfair
Yeah,
because
I
you
was
have
gonna
to
say,
you
I know
have
what
to
game
choose
he's
a
gonna
game.
pick.
No, I'm not saying League of Legends, but you
I
have
think
to
he's
choose.
saying League of Legends.
You have to choose a game that
That's not a bad choice.
involves a communication like aspect with your friends and involves being updated constantly.
Did we establish voice chat still exists?
If the net is up, why wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think you have to say it. Yeah,
Okay.
it might be monitored
Might be
though. Like you
sanctioned.
can't
Yeah.
say anything about the government.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Oh, shit.
But if
That's
you
all
can
I
call,
talk about.
but you could call out like I'm going to Bravo.
yeah. Going to Bravo. Hey, Alpha.
Shit, the president's at Bravo. Get him!
So, I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of MMOs that would be a good choice, but honestly, I don't. I want to ignore the net. I want to say the net is down. There's a dark net. But
That's strong.
every hour that you spend in the darknet actually just like saps your humanity away.
Ooh, I like
God.
And you
that.
start to
This
lose
dystopian
yourself
future.
into
You have the
dark
portrait
net.
of Dorian Gray in the darknet.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Zelda Breath of the Wild
Nice.
Okay.
because I feel like there's
There
at
is
least
a lot to explore in that game.
at least 200-300 hours of finding fucking Koroks that I could occupy myself with.
All right, next question. Oh, thanks for that, Phantom Force.
Thanks, Phantom Force. All right, next one is from Gibbler.
Gibbler from Reddit.
How big of a role do you guys think crossplay has on the development of the Switch and other consoles?
Okay, yeah. His
We added
actual
the- we
question,
added the other
Yeah, his
consoles
actual
part.
question was just for Switch, but we're adding other consoles because I think it makes it more interesting. Because Sean,
How are you gonna say this is my fault somehow?
I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying Sean has very strong opinions on this.
I do.
Yeah. Well, why don't you just tell the audience what
How
you said
big a
earlier?
role do I think crossplay has on the development of any console? None. None whatsoever.
Really?
Except for the Xbox One, because Windows is a thing. Like, Microsoft has a vested interest in players playing across those platforms. Beyond that, no one's going to put anything behind it
Well, I
unless it has some sort of benefit for them, or unless it's much more open. Like right now, Sony doesn't give a shit about it. So they're making it difficult. You can't have crossplay if the other console owner isn't allowing it to happen. So it's just kind of like a resource sink that doesn't need to happen.
They already charge people who already own the console to get online.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're not trying to like make their business strategy to like enable Microsoft, or Sony's not trying to, and Microsoft
Yeah.
isn't trying to enable PlayStation.
Yeah.
They're trying to build their own ecosystem.
It's not
Yeah.
this kumbaya
They don't
moment.
want you to play PlayStation or Switch. They want you to play Xbox because then you buy Xbox games.
But then if they wanted that, then then they wouldn't make all their games also available on PC, right? Like, it's so dumb.
Not all the games though. It's just like certain games.
No, I think all Xbox One games are also on PC.
that's not true. Though.
The exclusives is what I'm saying. Like the Microsoft exclusive made games are also PC.
I think that's
Going
probably
forward,
mostly
maybe?
held true since they did that
Yeah.
Windows 10 thing. Like
Yeah.
I played Forza 2 on my Forza Horizon 2.
Yeah.
Which is a great game on my PC. I played Gears of War 4 on my PC. That was really cool to switch back and forth.
Like
between
at
the
E3,
platforms.
every game they announced that was like an Xbox One exclusive was like available on Windows, PC.
Well, that's
and
because
Xbox
now-
One.
Yeah, except the ones that didn't have it. You only notice the ones that have it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know you're excited about it, but
Come on, Brad. Jesus
Think about-
Christ.
Can you think of
grow
one?
up, kid. Think about the business implications.
Yeah.
No, because I'm serious. Like that's been their model since they announced like all of their all of the Microsoft first party studio games are also on PC. Like they just
Sure. How long is that going to happen? Like, Microsoft dips in and out of
They've
caring
tried
about
to,
PC
yeah,
gaming.
they've tried to
That's
do
true.
that at least 5 times in the past.
I don't buy it ever now.
Games with Windows Live. Yeah, so they do that for a couple years.
you've been burned.
Well,
I've been
and
burnt.
right now it's kind of interesting because the Xbox is not dying but floundering a little bit. It's not the top dog anymore,
Yeah.
which it was last generation. And now they're deciding, hey, let's try and get our games out to more people. Like, how many millions of people have PCs? Let's put Gears of War on PC. We know we can
Yeah.
sell more. So it makes sense in the current environment, but I don't think that's like how they win. I think that's just them trying to make more money.
Yeah, they're just flexing whatever like synergistic power
Yeah.
they can.
Yeah, it's a huge business and
Yeah.
they've got so many ways to integrate. But yeah, what do you think about crossplay?
You guys seem really down on it. I initially feel like crossplay is a cool thing. Like to me,
And we're not saying it's not a cool
No,
thing.
it's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I played Rocket League. That's got crossplay.
yeah,
it's cool.
not on
It's-
Sony
Yeah,
consoles,
Brad.
though, apparently. So
No, it is right. It is.
I think-
Isn't it PS4 and PC? Like I was playing on PS4 and we had PC people.
maybe I thought that I had heard Sony isn't supporting it with any games, but maybe they are. I'm not sure. We need to dive into that a little bit more.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I like it. To me, it just seems kind of weird that like it's the net, right? You just got to tell the data to one other system, and then that data gets read, and then they figure it out, right? Like, I mean, why is it so
No.
complicated?
Are you serious?
Well, beyond that,
dude,
so it's
you
not.
shipped multiple games. Are you serious?
He's not serious.
The whole hook of this podcast is people who make games talk about games, and you're like, I don't know, they can just
Yeah.
code it up in a weekend.
I don't think it has anything to do with constraints. I think it has to do with business models.
Yeah.
They could do this easily if they wanted to. They could just open the doors, basically.
Yeah.
But they don't want to.
Yeah, I mean,
And the only reason Xbox or Microsoft has said anything about this is to make Sony look bad.
Yeah, I think so too. They're basically just knocking them.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, of course they would because they're punching up.
Yeah.
You know, Sony is the top dog right now, and I don't know. I bet they have higher numbers. You know, for PSN, people who are on PSN versus Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Xbox Live.
Well, there's like over two
They
times
have to.
as many PS4s out there, so I feel like it's got to be, right?
Yeah.
The other part to this question was about development on the Switch. As Sean said earlier, I just don't think it's going to happen.
What is
like,
it?
Like, what role do you think crossplay is on the development of this console, Switch?
I think like zero. Like until you have some sort of like integrated strategy from the jump, it's going to be zero.
Their whole online infrastructure is not even there yet. I mean, like they just launched this app.
Switch crossplay. Are you kidding me? You can't even play with other Switch owners.
Sony would look at them and just shake their head.
So true. But wait, do you have a cell phone? Because you need a cell phone. You got to connect to the cell phone.
Do you have that thing? Did you get that thing? Please tell me you tried that.
I have it. It's terrible.
Okay, I want to see that after we finish recording.
So I think the other problem with Switch is that Nintendo is notoriously hard to work with from another company's perspective.
Right.
So anytime you launch a game from like EA or any other publisher, it has to go through cert, and Nintendo makes it extremely hard to publish on their platform. So they just don't have the relationships or like the open mindset that they would need to enable that. So
yeah, they don't work with people very well. They don't like sometimes when you're going through cert. The publishers will be like, okay, you know what? This issue isn't actually that big of a deal. That's okay. We can forget about this if you fix this other thing and do this. But Nintendo is not like that at all. If it's against their rules, they're just like, nope, not going to happen. Spend more money to put this thing through cert again.
Yeah. And
people
then they
just don't like dealing with that.
And then they will break that rule with one of their games.
Yeah.
A lot of times to go through cert, it's like
thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
That's what I meant when I said
if you fail cert, it like is a meaningful thing on the budget.
Yeah,
it really
for
is.
Sure. All right, so thank you, Gibbler. Good question.
Thanks, Jibby.
And now we've got
Jiblonius.
Jabloni.
E. Hagens from Reddit.
Okay. E. Hagen sounds like a fighting game character.
So this is a three-parter. Let's get the easy question out of the way first. Also, will you be uploading this onto YouTube by any chance? Because that's my preferred method of listening to gaming news and content.
Well, good fucking news.
Guess
E.
what?
Hagens.
It's already up.
Sean and I just spent all of our Saturday fucking night converting these podcasts into YouTube videos.
Yep.
For you.
Just for you, E. Hagens.
So
you better watch them all. And subscribe.
But no, yeah, seriously, we're gonna now in our process in our pipeline, we will make sure that we convert the podcast into a YouTube video for launch day for all episodes going forward, and they should be better quality. We kind of made the backlog of 11 episodes like really really low video quality, but it doesn't matter. We're just putting a static image on it. But yeah, it'll be a little bit.
I made mine pretty high quality. So you'll notice that half of them are actually high quality and half of them are like 2 pixels. Those are Brad's.
Yeah. So no, well, we're gonna be on YouTube, and we also applied to be on Spotify. So hopefully that'll happen.
Yeah.
Soon
So
too.
spreading out to other
Fingers
platforms.
crossed. This will be the one that breaks us through.
Yep.
Oh yeah, break on through.
2 Sean's can't beat it.
No one else has 2 Sean's. So we'll get another one of these questions out of order here. One last thing.
This isn't even a question.
The controller on your logo looks like some kind of nipple controller. What do you think about that?
He didn't say that. He didn't say what he didn't think about that.
I think, hey, you noticed that we intentionally designed this to be nipples.
Exactly.
There you go.
We have
Good
this,
eye. Good
we
eye.
have this artist who did that, and he's just really sick in the head. So you know, like that's just all he can think about is
his
nipples all the time.
subconscious is just going crazy.
I thought it looked like little like cocktail weenies, kind of.
I could see that.
Yeah.
So the real question, I want to say those other ones weren't real, but the meaty question here.
Yes.
I'm learning Python on my own. First off, congrats. Good job.
Yeah, way to go, man.
Is it possible to be a
proactive.
game developer if I'm self-taught instead of being university trained? What do you guys think?
Yes. School doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, dude, I say this all the time. I almost feel like this should be like technically the main topic of the week, but we've been talking for so long already.
Yeah.
The whole feeling like you have to go to college to get like a good job or to get good at whatever you want to do is totally that's like we're brainwashed into thinking that now. Like when you go to high school, all you're told is you need to go to college to be successful. That's not necessarily true. We have multiple people who were at Respawn who were programmers who didn't even finish high school, and they're kick-ass coders, you know? And like if you're really good at what you do,
Yeah.
the school part doesn't matter. I mean, it helps for sure, and like school can be a great way to network. The school can be a great way to learn some of the things. Some people need school to learn things. They need a little bit more structure,
Sure.
but not everyone's like that.
Some people use school to grow up, you know, and
Yeah.
like
Some people
learn how to
some
be an
people-
adult or be responsible.
Some
Use it
people
how to
use
learn how
school
to
to go
drink.
the opposite way to learn how to drink.
But yeah, so school, it can help for sure, and it's going to be an uphill battle to get noticed if you don't have like Berkeley on your resume or whatever. But at the same time, if you're doing awesome shit, that is what really makes
Here's
a
the
statement.
thing. I don't think the resume
Yeah, I don't think-
really matters in our industry.
For
It's
engineering,
it's
it
the
does.
portfolio or
Yeah,
the
yeah.
demo.
If you come
right?
out of like Berkeley or MIT, I think that you sort of get a little more cred just because
Yeah.
those programs are difficult. They're very selective.
You'll automatically
and-
get an interview, and that is one of the hardest steps. Is just like having someone notice your stuff if you don't have a connection.
Someone
there.
looks at it, you know.
Yeah.
It's like but at the same time, like I've personally worked with people who have gone to fancy schools that were really good for comp sci or schools that were good for other things, and it kind of doesn't necessarily translate.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a
especially-
great.
It's all up to the individual, right? When
Engineer
you
or
go
whatever,
to school, the thing that they don't necessarily teach you about going to college, I feel like it's kind of strange because you kind of have to learn it on your own, and a lot of people don't, is that just going to school, showing up to the classes, taking the tests, passing a class, it's not really teaching you anything. You
Yeah.
have to put in the extra effort on your own.
I
Like
bet a lot of people we work with would be like, I worked really hard to get my CS diploma. Like, I feel like that's true. Like, CS is hard. You know, STEM majors are hard.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, so you okay, so you get your degree, but if you're not doing stuff outside of that, like if you're not actually making programs or doing things like
Yeah.
making real projects, and school's not necessarily going to force you to do that.
Yeah.
That's what's really going to help you out.
Yeah, and
Sean,
I think
you were saying this right. Like, when the rubber meets the road, it's like, it's more about whatever experience you can show.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
doesn't have to be work experience. That can be something you made on your own that was cool.
Yeah, because just because you went through this program doesn't mean you can work well in a team.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can stay motivated when you don't have $30,000 a year on the line because
Yeah.
you're paying tuition or whatever. I think what E. Haggins is doing is the right move. Learn Python, learn some other languages, make
See
some
how you
stuff.
feel about it.
Just experience it. And if you
Yeah.
feel like school adds value or helps you learn faster, then go for it. But at that point, you'll actually be making an informed decision instead of just deciding to go to school kind of out of the blue.
Yeah, and make games. Like, while you're learning Python, like, what's the simplest thing you can think of? Or what are things you're learning about Python now that you can make a game out of?
Yeah.
Like, I think that shows something about someone's mentality.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that a lot of people go into school and they don't necessarily have an idea of what they even like, and that's the tough part. Like, you get people, like when I was a freshman, I remember my roommate was a biology major, right? Because he was like, well, I got good grades in biology in high school, I'm going to do biology for a living. He has no idea what that even means.
Yeah.
First of all, you know, like,
Didn't he
I'm
just
going
play
to do
Call of
biology
Duty all
for a
the time?
living. Yes, he did play Call of Duty all the time.
He, like, got a
failed out-
major
he
in
failed
Call of
out
Duty?
school.
Nice.
Well, this is, I mean, like, this is a whole rabbit hole of a story. But the point I'm trying to get at is he eventually, his grades were so low, he had to change his major because he couldn't be in biology anymore because he failed his biology classes in college, and eventually went to elementary education, got his degree in elementary education, and now he's like a soccer coach. So it's like he didn't really know what he really wanted to do or what he was passionate about, and he went to school anyway right away, being totally uninformed. Whereas, like, if you're learning Python and you're like, whoa, this is really cool and I'm really having a good time, and you're like kind of learning a lot and you're making cool stuff, maybe then you can be like, yeah, maybe I will go learn some more about this in school or something.
Yeah.
You know, it just
Yeah.
it provides some perspective on what you're really into.
Yeah.
Because coding is really hard. I took a
Yeah.
year of Java in college and it broke me. Like,
Yeah.
it was,
Engineering is really hard. Like,
it's so hard.
so, I mean, at least we know you have technical chops.
Yeah.
To some degree. But that doesn't mean it's a culture fit. It doesn't mean that you care about games. It doesn't mean that
Yeah.
you are passionate about working with a team. It doesn't mean that you understand even basic concepts about what happens in game engines.
Yeah.
You got to get out there. You got to make games. You got to finish projects. Like,
Yep.
even if they're little, you got to finish stuff and,
Yeah.
and keep, because when you finish something, you kind of take it to that extra 10%. of completion.
Yeah.
And that like also teaches you stuff about how to make games. So
And hook up with as many teams as possible. Like go out there and contribute to open source projects, or find people on Game Dev Net or whatever forums out there, and work with others on projects, and that'll help you just learn faster, because some people are going to be better at this than you. So.
Yeah, as soon as you're working with other people and you're being forced to do things that are outside your comfort zone, that's where you really start to learn. Because you might make a game and you're like, oh, I have this idea and I want to do this thing, so I'm going to make it this way. But if you're working with a bunch of other people who have an idea on something totally different that you wouldn't have thought of, like making, and it's using tools that you're not used to and all that stuff, it's just going to push you to learn so much faster.
Yeah. So Skylar Summers,
from
I
Twitter,
guess that's just like straight up his name, also has kind of an add-on question, which is related to this. For someone who's already studied something else, how do I get into the video game industry? And I think a lot of that applies. Like, you don't necessarily have to get a degree in video game making. And actually, I think sometimes
I think it's crazy that those degrees technically exist, because they're mostly bullshit.
Full Sail and a lot of other.
I mean, you get out of it what you put in.
That's what I was saying earlier about it's you can go to college and you can go to classes and you can show up, you can take tests. That's not the
and
learning.
Be unsuccessful.
The learning happens. Yeah, you can be totally unsuccessful. The learning happens outside of the classroom when you're really putting yourself.
And you can go
out there.
You can go to Full Sail and get a generic game development degree and fucking kick ass and produce a 60-person game, and it gets picked up by Sony for like a 3-game deal or something like that.
Yeah.
So one thing here is I actually think it's useful to get a really if you do something at school or in life after that, get really specific. So if you're studying econ or biology or whatever, I think it's awesome to master a thing and then look outside of that and apply your experience elsewhere. So in game studios, there are a lot of crazy roles. Like at Riot, we have psychologists.
Well, Riot has more roles than any fucking video game studio that exists, okay?
Economists, data insights people, psychologists, all these people who are just experts in their field, who can bring a very unique perspective and a diversity to a team that normally isn't there. And that's super valuable. And there are places like that for people all over the industry and all over tech. So just because you studied something else doesn't mean that time is lost or those skills are lost. You just have to find a way to apply them.
Yeah, and the point that I want to bring up is Sean got a degree in English.
So did I.
Hell yeah.
And Slayback got a degree.
Great,
oh my god,
great
what the
decision.
fuck is going on over here? Oh my god, you're merging into one person right now. And I got a degree in music. Music recording technology, technically.
Like drums and bass, right?
So, yeah, exactly. Specifically drums and bass. So, we didn't go to school for something in regards to video games. For me specifically, I went to a school thinking, I'm going to get out of school and record bands for a living, So I learned studio engineering and all this stuff and signal flow and
probably so much
how to
cooler
record.
than what you do now. The people you work with now, can you
I know,
imagine?
right? Seriously,
you got to work with me versus working with a cool rock
Led
star.
Zeppelin.
Oh, you should still go for that,
I would
bro.
so
Don't
travel.
give up on that dream.
I would travel back in time and I would record them. But
their first album.
That was me, guys. So
could have killed Hitler, but nah.
Nah, man.
Wanted to record Jimmy Page.
People need Zepp.
So what we did, or I studied something very specific, and I knew I loved video games, and I found a way that the skills that I had learned with a specific thing could translate into the video game industry. So I translated all of this recording and music knowledge into sound design. So I taught myself sound design, and I found an internship in Insomniac Games where I could learn from people in the studio and just kind of transferred all that over. It was very specific knowledge, but was actually incredibly useful in helping me find my feel and my vibe for being a sound designer. And I think that that's the case everywhere. I would always recommend, if you want to get into video games for art, go get a really awesome art degree. Don't go get a video game art degree. Get really good at art and then find out how you can take those skills and apply them to video games. Get that base knowledge of that skill first. So if you're getting something that's not, you're saying you studied something else, whatever that thing is you studied, like Sean said, get really good at that and find out how that can apply into a video game job. And if it can't, do what Sean and I did. Go get into QA.
I mean, I was in college, like playing Counter-Strike like nonstop. Like my wife was my
wife?
My wife was my.
Is she a
I don't know what you're
housewife?
talking about.
Is she a housewife, Slayback?
She's
Was she
not.
playing Sims
she's
too?
She's a small business owner, man. She grinds.
Oh, wow.
She works harder than me.
Small business wife.
Every man's dream. Yeah, we almost broke up because I played so much Counter-Strike in
Damn.
college.
So you were like my college roommate who broke up with his girlfriend because he was playing too much Call of Duty.
Nope,
Except
almost like
almost.
him.
Because you survived.
Yeah. She would come over and we were supposed to hang out, and I'd be like just completely ignoring her. And, like,
This is exactly what Carl did. Holy shit.
but you know what? To our credit, our communication's good enough.
Yeah,
But,
right.
But yeah, anyway. So, but then on the side, I was like taking the server logs, and I was making a website that would like parse everybody's stats in the dorm, and then we would have a website that would track
Awesome.
what we did. And so like even though I was going to class and I was reading like Hemingway and E.E. Cummings and stuff, like I was coming back and I was learning skills that I eventually would blossom into being like a more professionally useful.
Yeah. Where did you start then? Where did you get in? What was your first position? Like at a video game studio?
Yeah, I came out of college with an English degree, which means you're not doing anything with English probably.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And I used my like website experience to get a job at a telecom company.
Okay.
And so I did that for a couple years, and it wasn't an awesome company. They made like internal switchboard software.
Okay.
So they're selling like Pacific Bell and like
Right.
other telecom companies and stuff like that. But
Riveting stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy boring. But I learned like Oracle and Java and JavaScript. So I learned like how to do databases, and I learned how to script stuff. And then I decided that I wanted to make games. And this is actually, to your point, I have maybe a unique perspective because I ended up being one of the second group of people to go through the program at Guildhall at SMU.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. That's how you.
That's how I got my QA internship at Gearbox on Brothers in Arms 1.
Which track did you go through?
Design.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it wasn't like a real it was a certification, not like a real degree.
Yeah.
But for me it was a lot more about like what I put in. Like I finally was in a position where like I didn't have to like write Java software all day and then come home tired. Like I'm a kind of person that really needs to focus and be more single track. And so for me spending the money to go to this program was an opportunity for me to really focus on this thing that I thought that I've always wanted to do,
Yeah.
And it was that was my way in, and then I applied and was lucky enough to get the QA internship at Gearbox, and that was the first group of people they ever had internally that were doing QA, so that was fun. We were kind of like figuring it out together.
Oh,
and
nice.
Yeah, that's
helping them move as they were expanding and stuff. It was cool.
So QA was kind of your stepping stone as well.
I wish I could say it was. I think that's a little more legit, but no, I left that. That was over, and then like very shortly afterward, one of the guys that I met there, named Dan Steamer, he started working. He got a job at Grey Matter, which made the Call of Duty expansion pack.
Okay.
Which was also really good. And and he got a job there
Just
as a
little shout out
scripter,
to myself there.
like a game. No, I didn't make it. I didn't work on it, but
okay,
I was
okay.
a big fan of Call of Duty before I started working on Call of Duty. And so Dan got the job, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to do what I do?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I do." And so I left with like half a year left on my program at Guildhall.
No way.
Yeah, they don't list me on the website or anything.
Oh,
shit.
wow. And you were
But it's
one
okay.
of the...
I feel like
Wait,
it
but
did
didn't
the
you pay
job.
for it?
The whole point, yeah, I paid for it. But I didn't finish paying for it, and so the whole I bounced. So they didn't get the full and I didn't get because it was a BS certificate. Like who cares?
Yeah, right. It's not a real degree, so.
And the whole point of me going was to get a job making games.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you got the
yeah.
I
job.
got the exact job I wanted, and basically now I do that job, but it's like that plus.
Yeah.
Like, but it's basically that was my in, and
Okay.
ditch the school when it's convenient for you. Don't feel obligated to finish a degree.
Yeah.
Your objective is you want to make games. So,
Yeah, if you're making games, you're
Yeah.
getting paid to make games. If you're able to make
That's
a
the
living off of
objective.
making games,
Yeah.
that's it.
There it
That's
is.
the dream, man.
You
Living
made
the
it.
dream.
So like I think Sean and I talked about this a little bit when we were talking with Big Rig, but like we when we graduated, there was not a lot going on in the audio scene. There was not like a job that I could find, and
Now there are tons of them.
now there's a lot.
Oh my
there's
God.
so much going on right
Yeah.
now. It's actually crazy.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Oh, I was
I'm
being
not kidding.
sarcastic.
No, there's actually a lot of audio jobs open right now.
Okay.
Or at least there have been this past year. So we ended up meeting a producer at EA who worked in Salt Lake City, and he really liked us, and like we got along really well with all the people we met there at GDC, and they wanted us to come on and be QA testers for one of their upcoming projects. So we were like, fuck it, let's do it. So we packed up all of our shit into a U-Haul 2 days after graduating from college and just drove across the country. Like, just drove out to Salt Lake City. We found a place.
Well, before that, we drove all the way across the country to Salt Lake City, and on the street of our first apartment,
get into this right now?
Ran over a speed bump not 100 feet from the door and de-hitched the trailer, and it smashed into the back of the car and broke everything. On the last street we were driving
there
on.
it is. There's the place. And there was an unmarked speed bump. No paint or anything. Just this huge speed bump on the road. And like I ran over it, and then I braked, and the trailer came unhitched, smashed into the back of the car. It broke our bikes that were on the back of the car.
Smashed our bikes through the window.
It broke through my window on my car.
Welcome home.
Yeah, exactly. It was so frustrating. And we just packed up and just started working in QA at EA, and that kind of was like, that's such an eye-opening experience. You don't need to have a specific degree to start doing QA for a video game company. If you're really passionate about games, if you have a lot of game playing experience, if you have a lot of problem-solving experience, if you can communicate really well, if you're good at typing, I guess I want to say, like, because you have to write up a lot of bugs.
I think
there are people who have problems with typing who can like not spell and do that kind of stuff. If you're able to communicate clearly, both verbally and through written word, like you're able to be a QA tester.
The problem with QA is that good QA testers are actually super hard to find. People,
it's true,
and it's a very like distinct skill set. And people who are actually good at it, like, don't look at it as a stepping stone. Yeah, they look at it as like, that is their craft. They make the game better.
That's
true.
Find the there are people who are,
and so
really
when you go into QA, you have to approach it like any other job. You can't be like, well, this is just a stepping stone. You have to do the QA job, and then you also have to do the thing you want to do. So we have an MP designer named Nathan, and he started on the QA team, and then at night he would be like learning the tools and making MP maps.
Yeah, I remember I'd come over to his desk like after work, and it's like he was always in level ed. Like,
it's not a coincidence. And now he's on the MP team, and they just dropped the Frontier Defense update, and like he's been, huge for it's been huge.
That's awesome
for both sides.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like, while I was doing stuff at EA, while my daily job was doing QA, like at night I was working on like an indie game project with my friends, and like, we won like first place in the Something Awful Game Dev Game Jam competition that summer. Like, we spent a month making this game, and I wrote all these little tunes, and like people loved it. Like that game got copied all over the internet. Like millions of people played that game. It's crazy. So like,
and that's the thing. Like, positioning yourself is half the battle. Just getting in front of the people who can help you get to the next step in your career and can recognize like the passion that you have and just connect you with more people. That's the tough part. Finding those people who can get you in the door and just like take you under their wing, I guess.
If you make something super cool, a lot of those people will find you too.
That's true.
There's a lot of people who like explode. Like, we'll have threads that show cool art from other
all the time.
Fan art and non-fan art, but just art that kind of looks like it could fit in the Titanfall universe. And it's like, who is this guy?
Yeah, and then the recruiter,
you're like, look at his art station, and he's got like 3 pieces, and you're like, this guy just exploded out of nowhere. Like, let's hit him up. Where's he
and
at?
our recruiter will literally track them down and contact them about potentially working with us. Because you're making cool stuff.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
So that's just get noticed, man. I played a dumb Flash game called Kanye Zone, where you just have to like, stop a ball.
Stop him from getting in the zone.
Yeah, you can't get in my zone.
Yeah,
it was so dumb, but I was like, who made this? This is
my
dope.
That's so great.
Hire him.
I think that's it for the mail train today.
It is.
The mail train's sailing out of the station.
Sailing out of the station? My God, Travis.
Oh, man. Guys, this has been an awesome
long one.
Game Stuff podcast this week.
I'm amazed if anybody is still listening.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hey, these guest episodes usually run to be about 2 hours long, so I think we're on track.
About
this is
2 hours.
This is how it goes.
This was so much fun. I mean, it didn't feel like 2 hours to me.
Dude, every time it's like that. It does feel like it kind of sails by. I just want to say real quick as we're wrapping up here, like we said, we're on YouTube now, so if anyone uses YouTube or
subscribe
YouTube for listening to stuff, subscribe. We're gonna try to make some like cool little sketch videos, we think. We don't want to promise anything too much right now, but it's gonna happen. So those will be going up there. If you could subscribe / review on iTunes, that would really help us out. We're still hoping to be something to get featured. I don't know how that works. iTunes is a black box.
Yep.
Doesn't make any sense.
No sense at all. No communication.
Google Play, SoundCloud, all those places. You could just follow us on there. That would really help. We appreciate it. You can write into us at GameStuffPodcast@gmail.com. And also, if you could follow our guest this week, we got it's at
Slaypiece. SLAYPIECE. Follow me on Twitter, guys.
On Twitter. Follow
Say
him on
hi.
Twitter.
Say that you found me from this podcast because I still don't believe anyone listens to it.
Yeah.
Please do.
If one
Please
person
do.
could do that, we can validate ourselves.
Yes. That would be awesome. And you can follow me at Big B Snyder, and Sean, you're at Sean_Crick, I think. Very exciting there. And that's going to be it for this week, guys. Thanks a lot for listening and hanging out with us while we talk about games and stuff.
See you guys.
Bye.
It's me.